Hey y'all. I wasn't planning on coming live today unless me and Kyle did a live, but I am going to come live. Normally I don't do them impromptu. In fact, I was going to wait for tomorrow and finish laying this all out in a pre-record, but I think there's some things that are being completely misconstrued and quite potentially missed. So we're just not going to waste any time. We're going to hop right into it. And I am going to lay out a few things of where I'm actually headed.
You're beautiful but unsatisfied since day one. You were getting teased and it scarred you when you were young. Now you're getting older and you've been on the grind. Your paper off the scale so you feel like it's time. So you got a nose job, that's the primary thing. People tease you as a kid and for some reason you hit. Always into high fashion, girl, you heavy like lead. Liposuction out your shell like a chicken and egg. Feeling confident but now you're becoming obsessed. First your nose, then your weight, now your butt and your breast. It's a vanity fair, cosmetic overdose. Fiending for a next operation like it was dope. Now you feel the need to skin pill, your skin's no good. But if those around you were real, they'll tell you the truth. Just because you spending thousands, that don't make it alright. Had one problem, now it's many going under the knife. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Come on. Vanity Fair, yeah. Changing one or two things, cool girl, do you? Do you wanna be beautiful and look like you? Or do you wanna look like someone you saw in a magazine or video, but not in the raw? I like nice shaped bodies, bikinis Brazilian, but too much of anything just isn't appealing. Some people spend a lifetime, even a million. No grace like those unhappy when chilling. A girl with a big butt, big lips, small hips is what we all love to see, and men dream about this. There is nothing wrong with getting something broken fixed. Some women get a breast job cause cancer assists. Some women want to please their man and insist. And a woman really loves you if she wants to do this. But abuse ain't the same as intention was cared. So be careful of the drug called the Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, faceline, look at your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Come on.
Hey y'all. Let me go up and say hi to everybody. Hey Cash, hey Zero, Rios, Miss Lee, Bunny Mom, Rockabit, Petunia Picklebutt, Freeside, The Real Angel, Jackie215, Brenda, Tammy, Ann, Always Happy, Zoya, ASU Mom, Barbara, Gina, Paul, Nikki, Marcy, Carol, Daisy, a lot of new names in here today. Chatty Kathy, Allie, Shannon, J-Dub, Daisy again, Wild Violet, Bama, Good Gumby, It Is What It Is, PG. All right, y'all. So there's some shit going on. I've been pretty vocal recently. Oh, I could turn my camera on. I look like shit. I was outside, but kids wanted tablet time, so figured whatever it is. So we are here because, as you guys know, there has been some ripple effects going on in the community. I do everything out front. I'm not about to start being shady behind the scenes now. So here we are. Navy Techs, again, I have nothing but love for that man. He is wonderful. He has always been respectful to me. He has always been kind to me. This is nothing to do with him. So I'm kind of confused, first and foremost, of why Navy is the one responding to me when he was not addressed. Secondly, The point was completely missed. I don't care what happened with any of them, but we're going to look at some of this. I don't care about this. We talk about patterns of behavior. We talk about past history affecting current day issues. Current day issues, one might think, what happened yesterday? Well, I don't know. Unirock, not Navy. Again, Navy and Uni are two separate people from my understanding. Uni is responsible for his channel, not Navy. So let's take it to today's time, and then I'm going to walk you back. But I'm going to show this in a video too. I was going to lay it out, do it all a little bit better. But this section I'm going to come back to. But most of you guys saw this with your own two eyes. So Navy went up on Queen Bee's last night to respond to comments that were from Uni. Again, totally misplaced, but let's talk about why. So yesterday, I guess I didn't even know this until after Uni went live and announced that JLR had sent his mom a letter. Do we know if the letter is real? Nothing. I have no idea, y'all. Don't even ask me. I don't know if anybody's seen the letter yet. I have no idea. But supposedly the contents of said letter that was from supposed YouTuber JLR. And I say supposed because, again, I have not seen the letter. I have not seen what it says. I don't know if anybody has at this point. So I'm going off of what I actually know. So this letter gets put out as content that it happened. He goes live and tags Queen Bee because supposedly in this letter, she was mentioned. But he didn't message her. He didn't send her a screenshot. I guess the claim is, again, that he didn't have a screenshot. He had to have the letter read to him. I mean, I don't know who doesn't have a camera phone in 2023, but anyways, let's give him all the grace in the world. So technical difficulties, he hasn't seen the letter yet. But you would think before making a serious situation like that, one that we have been telling everybody, please avoid these people because they do have dangerous behaviors, that you would have reached out to a woman who is a mother, that this man mentioned her in a handwritten letter that was mailed to your address. The first thing that would have gone through my mind is a safety concern of said creators mentioned in letter. That's where I would have gone. But again, this is a pattern of behavior. So Uni couldn't be bothered with contacting Queen Bee. My perception. He didn't mind to contact her, tell her, provide her any information. He just went live and made it into content. So then when it comes up in question, has anybody seen this? What does it say? Queen Bee is obviously like, what is going on here? Navy comes up to respond. God love Navy. Man, that guy's got a heart of gold and he tries. And again, this is nothing against him because I feel bad for him in this situation, or I tend to, but then I guess my eyes are a little wide open. So then I saw what he did and the excuses. Anyways, that's another story for another day. So he goes up on panel and he instantly starts making excuses that instead of reaching out to Queen Bee, he first of all, basically backtracks. And again, the live's still up. You can go watch it for yourself. You don't have to take my word on anything. Didn't anything. Please go watch it for yourself. But what I'm getting at is this isn't one time that he's done this. He went live right after I got doxxed. Time and time again. Do you think he came to me? Do you think I made my dox into content? No, because it was my real life being came at. Do you think he ever asked? No. And sure as hell, I was in some of those comment sections listening to what was being said because meanwhile, he's using it for content. I'm on the phone making police reports. There's a difference in how we handle ourselves, but that's a thing. Do you think my safety ever came into concern of this man? My children's safety, instead of poking the bear and making flat out accusations against Molly for being the one responsible for it, that he ever gave a second thought, maybe I shouldn't do that. Because if they're going to this level of doxing her husband and his business, maybe I shouldn't make it into content and talk to her first. So this is called a pattern of behavior. So the other day, and this has been stuff that's been obviously bothering me for quite some time. Again, we've talked about the monetization of content, not knowing content, clickbaiting, all of those things, which you don't have to take my word for it. You can see enough yourself. And we will get into some pre-records because I got a new locale. You want to act like a locale? I'm going to make you my locale. Welcome to the fucking pasture. I finally figured out what that word meant. But I'm going to walk you back because I made some statements the other day that if I'm going to be completely in this world, before criticizing everybody on the other side of things, I need to understand the history because their past problematic history is today's problematic history. Their fight from 8 years ago that Steve and him carried over from Google Plus, again, don't take my word for it, you're going to see clips in a minute, is current day problems that affect other creators, such as myself, Queen Bee, Heels, Navy Techs, obviously. It affects subs because now subs feel torn because people are getting kicked out of this and that. I got messages that people got kicked out. I finally took Navy's wrench. Otherwise, I would have never done it. I don't play childish games. I was not mad at uni until I started looking back because their problematic history is in today's bullshit, which would have been Marvan's story. And their hatred for each other has carried into today's content. I don't give two shits about Steve, EKC, L, Katie, Uni, the X mods, the past history, moderate extremists, Red's rhetoric, all of those people. I mean, I've got so many names, but let me tell you, I found some really cool bloggers that I like listening to now after going down the hall. We don't have a different way of doing things, PG. I'm not careless. Period, point blank. I'm done sugarcoating it. I can't stand any of them. But if we're going to rewrite history, I'm going to show you why this shit's problematic. Because if you go back to learn the history of what's been going on and you try to just figure out the truth, you're going to get nothing but bullshit spewed on each side. Tammy, have I ever said she's a victim? This is where I've never said, I have said all the way around. Little Devil, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you. I've never said she's a victim. I think furthest from that, Elle has done so much wrong in the Marvan story. So much wrong. She is absolutely a problematic creator. No different than Uni, though. Why am I supposed to pick a side and only call out that one side? Because let me tell you, if Elle was doing the shit Uni was doing and has been doing, she would get her ass called out. If that would have been somebody else taking Queen Bee, if that would have been a Molly thing, ass handed to him. Let's just set the hypocrisy and the double standards aside for a moment. So, safety should always come. No, Tammy, I said that she was absolutely harassed, but you don't have to take my word for it. That's the thing. I'm going to take you back for a minute. Okay, so let's go. Let's just go into it. Anyways, but again, I'm going to address the person that I'm speaking to, which is Uni. I don't expect responses from his henchmen. I expect him to be a man. I'm a woman addressing him. You are putting women in safety issues. If you can't acknowledge that and do better, we don't even need to have a conversation. Like I said, I'm going to milk you like my low-cow and walk you around the pasture. Buckle up. The internet hasn't seen me pissed. But when you have somebody that I don't have issues with and have been super vocal come out to respond for you, that says all I need to know. All right. Let's start here. This is all falls under fair use content. This is Unirock. His content. This is the only second time that I've ever used anything from Unirock because I don't need to. But today we do because I think some people need to be reminded of a few things. So this is from December 9th, 2019. Yeah, years ago. Years ago. So let's get into it. Again, this falls under fair use content. Let's get into it.
More detailed than my video.
Okay.
I received a lot of questions about whether I could give a full breakdown that's a little more detailed than my video. So until I can get a summation video when
We're
this is
speeding it up.
all over done, this will be the replacement for that. Anyone from Katie's audience, anyone out there that doesn't have a full kind of understanding of everything.
And by the way, everyone is welcome here. Everyone is welcome in the comments. But if you start dogpiling on my people, like just happened in unis, you can get the hell out, because what you guys did, because of your dislike over something I said on the internet, and allowed your people that were once everybody's people, I thought, for a difference of opinion and a lack of understanding or a lack of comprehension to be dogpiled on, you can just go, because that won't happen here. Mods, you know how to handle this shit. And if you're in a bad position, let me know, because I'll kick the fuckers out myself. You will not dogpile on people in my comments. You can have a difference of opinion, but you better be respectful. And I expected better out of you, Navy.
I'm going to go ahead and read you this. It's done by Cheesy Potatoes, I think, or maybe, no, it's done by Dollini on Reddit. Great job doing this. It's very impressive.
Okay, so to take you back in time, why we're going back to this one is I made a statement the other day that I was in the rabbit hole. I was trying to figure out all this shit. So what I figured out is they're all a bunch of liars. There's been a lot of lies and a lot of misinformation for years. It is all over the place. It has been one time, there's evidence to prove this, this, and this. And then there's just some things that we're going to point out as we go through this. But I made some statements about the history, and somebody had a knee-jerk reaction and seems to be taking everything I said the wrong way. The past behavior is still today's behavior. And there's a whole lot more. You like to give everybody shots and chances to come clean and be truthful and do all this. Well, you had your shot.
Has a lot of links and a lot of evidence in it. So this will be my full response to Katie for lying about a lot of the stuff that came out the other day. And this way, there's evidence, receipts, and a resource. The link to this is in the description. If there is any super chats or
Holy spackle. Again, please find where I have sided with LB. If you cannot, because I cannot stand LB and have stated time and time again, the misinformation that has constantly been passed has been problematic. But if you can't acknowledge the fact that Uni's problematic behavior with these creators is still happening today, I don't know how you're missing the point. Again, free to have your opinion, but please don't try to guilt trip me, because that's a manipulation tactic that won't fucking fall over here. You can keep your faith manipulation. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about there too. And you can keep all the other manipulation away from me. Doesn't work.
anything that comes in, I won't be reading them until after this. So let's get this finished. This is going to be a long one, says the writer of this, the author. Katie started off writing for Pathos. Originally, she wrote about her son's medical condition. Then she became an atheist and joined the YouTube circles. At some point, she started reporting, and they put it in quotations, and I use that term loosely, says the author, on reality TV. While Katie was in her atheist phase, a YouTuber named Steve McRae, I've probably fudged that name, so apologies, invited her to his channel to stream. Well, Kyle Curtis did, we'll correct things as we go.
For those of you that don't know who he's talking about, Steve is who they refer to as Lobster Man, who at one point in time was really good friends with Uni.
Steve and Kyle.
Actually, we'll watch the fallout right after this.
Channel had Kyle and Katie on. Shortly
that
after, Steve's YouTube partner, Kyle, kicked Steve off the channel and stole $60,000, and that's estimated. A lot of people think it's more, and I do too, and ran. Katie believed Kyle. And the reason why people expected Katie not to believe Kyle is because there was a admission that was recorded where Kyle admitted to stealing the channel and not paying Steve. That's why people were surprised Katie wouldn't believe, or would still believe Kyle after seeing the admission.
Meaning, Navy has every right to react to whatever he wants to, but this is a pattern of behavior. Again,
on video. Steve sued Kyle and got the YouTube channel back. The judge ordered it back. He's just waiting for that order to go through. Katie accused Steve of that kind of harassment.
Holy Spacko, please introduce everybody to what the real problem here. Thank you for acknowledging it, because this has nothing to do with me trying to pick a side over L. It's because I brought up and debunked the term vet bashing. Again, please do your research and realize that out of your circle, that is not a thing. There is no legal definition. It would be considered harassment or cyber stalking. It is hate speech if it incites violence. Yes, it's a terms of service thing that you cannot go after protected classes. Vet status is one of them. But you have to make egregious claims or really incite violence, such as hate speech, to be considered that protected class. Also, if we have to take into consideration uni, then we need to take into consideration every single one of the disabled people that are the same protected class as uni. It can't be a shoe fits for one situation and doesn't fit for all.
There are screenshots of this conversation that would eventually lead her to accuse Steve of this, and they are talking about a porn star's breast. I will add when I can. I've shown that in my previous video, versus mode, if you want to see that evidence after this. Katie then retracted her accusation and her defense of Kyle in an apology video, which she later removed. Steve tried to use the apology video and was hit with a copyright strike. Katie started her accusations again. That's very important. All Steve did was re-upload the video because she took it down.
Okay, you can hear that he is in defense of Steve. At this point in time, on this day, December 19th, 2019, he is defending Steve and adding additional information behind what is being stated as fact. He is giving further explanation of what is going on.
She struck him down and then started accusing again. Okay. Fast forward to Amber. Katie releases the audio and she gains a boatload of subscribers overnight. Cue Katie's ego, enter Leslie Bass. Apparently, Katie cannot stand sharing
Enter Leslie Bass.
subs or having healthy competition. They were having small arguments. Honestly, there's too many to say, but again, I'll upload screenshots where I can once I find them, but nothing massive, and Leslie forgave her a few times. I will, when I pull up evidence and screenshots, I'm going to
happy and agitated.
Do it like this because it will protect my channel in case a link pops up something.
Sometimes when I'm getting people yelling at me, but I would never call people disgusting or rude or mean or anything like that.
Leslie Bass is disgusting for putting that out, and I can't believe she would even entertain that as an option and like mock him. He's mentally ill.
And Kim, do not tell people to STFU in my chat at all.
Shut the fuck up, Leslie.
I see you guys screaming at me. It's okay if I got some names wrong. Don't be rude to me in the chat.
Okay. Now, that was from Unveiling the Mask of Katie Joyless YouTube channel, just to source it correctly for you. I just want to make sure I give the sources so you can find them. Once again, link to this entire thing is in the About section of this video for anyone that wants to reread it and go through it a little more.
And we'll go through it in a minute.
Fast forward to, okay, read that. Apparently, Katie cannot stand sharing subs. Enter Matt.
Okay, so here we go. Apparently, Katie cannot stand sharing subs or having healthy competition. They were having small arguments. Honestly, there's too many to say, but again, I'll upload screenshots where I can find once I can find them, but nothing massive. She forgave her a few times. Okay, so there was already some friction. Steve and Katie also previously had friction. Uni and Steve were buddies at this point in time, and Leslie was more associated with Steve and Uni kind of as a second thing, but that changes in days of this.
At the Rat Bear. And if this does seem, sided against somebody, that's the authors putting that in. Matt is interviewed by Katie. Leslie then gets in contact with him and does the same. Why, I do not know, because he is vile and his word is worth nothing, according to the author. Katie gets mad at Leslie, and they start fighting again. He was my best friend first. She did say that, and if you want to watch this, you can. I don't find this part worth sourcing, so. Okay, here's where it gets fuzzy for me anyway. So TMZ buys the audio. Now, this is a claim by the author. I don't think that a lot of people disagree, but a lot of people do agree, and that's why I'm letting you know. Katie says that she didn't sell it, but she did and admits it here. And I've watched this video, and I don't hear her admit to it there, but it could be a matter of opinion. So I'll let you go there and by following the link in the About section if you want to make up your mind about that. Because whether she sold the audio or not, I don't see a bad thing about it other than if she lied about it, and that'll be up to your opinion. So I'm not going to go there. During this debacle, Katie and a hatter by the name of Rao, I don't know how to say that, started to do that to each other. Katie released full names, addresses, and etc. Rao just released info that was already available from KJ's Instagram. Bar details about Katie's house. Rao says she put it in someone else's name in case people...
Don't worry, there's proof of all this.
...use her, Taddy, and Amber. Here is the screenshots, and I can't show you that because I don't want to show you that. Katie admits that Rao and Ashley are her sources, and I nearly die of laughter. So let's hear that because then you'll find out a little bit of an admission on where sources are. Here it is. I know. I learned recently Amber gave $8,000 for a deal. I'm not.
So basically, again, none of this fucking matters to me. Could care less. But what I care about is the fact that their drama that has been nonstop for years is affecting us today. And we're going to explain why saying things that are not quite factual and then twisting the narrative or coming out with things that are clickbaitish or not proven yet, and then days later changing it up, that's a problem even today. I have a real big problem with the clickbaiting because I've been expected to correct a lot of the clickbait or questioned on the clickbait or accused of things because of things he says. So it becomes a problem. And this isn't just now, this has been a historical pattern.
And I was, it went bust, which is why she got the machete and the ring cams in her house. What? I didn't think I could be shocked anymore. That wouldn't surprise me. So she didn't get the coke? No. Wow. Okay. Oh, what did I just read? This story gets crazier every second. My goodness.
Sure as fuck does.
And so at this point, some of Katie's mods start jumping ship, leaving her channel, namely Kendra and Brittany. KJ starts doing Instagram live videos.
I haven't changed. I'm just saying stuff you don't want to hear. And that's totally okay. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay is passing off what's actually going on right in front of us to many creators and being gaslit by people in my comment section or other people because, oh, poor guy. Oh, poor guy. If this was Molly doing the same shit, y'all would be fucking flipping.
I'll record them and upload them when my SO isn't snoring. Sorry. Katie uploads a live stream where she goes off on Leslie because, and I quote, Matt was my best friend first, boohoo. She sounded like a ding-dong and rightly got dragged for it, linked to it. The KJ versus...
You notice how my subs didn't go over there and disrespect Navy during his premiere or his audience? But you notice how the difference is who's in the comment section being vocal today? Pay attention.
LB, the Katie Joy versus Leslie Bass division intensifies. Steve does a rant, and she links to it. I don't know how to do the fancy links, she says. Teen Mom Shade Room uploads a video to YouTube stating why she and the community have issues with Katie Joy. You've probably seen that. If you have not, link in the About section to the article where you can watch it. LB, Leslie Bath, and Steve, seeing the tides turn and Katie Joy becoming a lot more vicious, plan to host a stream together on Leslie's channel. And they let this be known to the community. Then Leslie's channel is...
Okay, he's going to start adding more information called evidence to this verbally.
Promptly shut down because Katie sent trolls to mass report Leslie's channel. And I already looked at this. There is evidence of this.
There is evidence of this, that Katie sent trolls to mass report Leslie's channel. Not my words. Those would be Uni's. So he had evidence of this on December 19th, 2019.
Immediately, Leslie makes the claim, please retweet. My channel has been shut down due to Katie lying to her followers and having them mass report my videos. Not only is she messing with me, but this affects my kids, and I've told people not to attack her. She specifically...
Another tactic by L, emotional manipulation. Let me throw my kids in there and ask, make it really hit home.
Told her people to report my channel.
So you can see the back and forth between Elle and Katie, Bruin and Uni's. Uni's like, okay, they did do this. I've got evidence that this was done by Katie. Okay.
On Twitter, Katie says, I don't know why I'm being accused of a channel being taken down. This channel is up. All the videos are accessible. Her channel is up, but she can't do anything on it. YouTube suspended her. Her channel is under review. While it remains there, she cannot upload or live stream. Meanwhile, Katie is making videos and live streaming, making her money. She's effectively stopped Leslie from making any money for now. And she stopped Leslie from having Steve on and letting Leslie's channel consists of a similar audience as Katie.
So that's not written anywhere. You see that? That's not part of the script or the factual thing that he's reading off. This is what he's adding to the story. This is called emphasizing certain facts that he's claiming he has evidence. He's seen evidence of some of this stuff, right? To the story.
She knew the damage it would do if Steve talked on Leslie's channel. When Leslie gets back, I think that's the first thing they'll probably do. Now, Katie makes the claim that Leslie accused her of this. I don't think she did personally. I know she was giving an opinion, but that's up to you to decide. Katie says, I was talking about Steve, not her, as in Go Strike Steve's channel. I have nothing against her videos at all. Steve has made 17 videos about me. That number is not right, by the way. Maybe it is now, but when it was said, it wasn't. I said I wish her the best and wanted her to do well. I didn't report anything. I talked about Steve, who has made 17 videos about me, but not her. This is her defense on Twitter to people that follow her so she can lie and get them to think she didn't tell people to strike Leslie.
So she can lie and get people to think she didn't strike Leslie.
I wasn't telling anyone to mass report anything. I said to do whatever, but YouTube isn't stopping his targeted harassment of me. And by the way, YouTube finally responded to her and told her that YouTube isn't going to suspend people that do commentary that goes against Katie, because that's what the platform is for, and it's legal. Legal. L-E-G-A-L. Legal.
So he says this is legal. L-E-G-A-L. Okay.
Then Katie does this post, which states right here, since the video was uploaded, I have received threats. I've been accused of crimes. Others are accusing me of defrauding Medicaid due to my son. None of it is warranted. All the accusations are patently false. Personal attacks are bullying and harassment. Maybe, but not the criticism against you or the evidence against you or people's opinions against you. Please report.
That was all added in there.
Report videos you see that directly target me by other creators. Therefore, yes, she did target Steve and Leslie.
Yes, she did target Steve and Leslie.
And tell her audience to go report them, because at this...
And told her audience to go report them. Tell me again that none of this stuff happened, that the story's changed how many times now? I mean, again, nobody cares. They can have their drama. But when their drama directly impacts the story of a victim, there's issues. And it continues to impact so much.
This time, I only found 3 channels talking about Katie, Steve, Leslie, and another channel. So yes, that's evidence that's good evidence that was put here in this article.
That's good evidence.
And that came from this link, if you want to go there, in the description after the stream. YouTuber Unirock TV gets involved. He reports on drama in the YouTube community. I do, thank you.
So there he confirms that he's a drama reporter. Thank you for finally confirming that. Today's claim to fame, I guess, is he's busted $200,000 and some in fraud raisers. I've never seen actual accounting or what any of that is. I have no idea. Don't ask me what his new take is. But at this point in time in 2019, he was a drama channel.
And Leslie Bass, Steve, and Brittany, the ex-mod, stream a video that is taken down after being struck by Katie for defamation. And there's evidence to it. The other mod that jumped Kendra comes out after Katie claims the messages were doctored. She never tried to mass strike LB. The screenshots of the messiness. We'll go ahead and pull those up just to be thorough here, I suppose. So this is Katie saying, good riddance to MS, bad eyebrows. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. Do you have trolls that can mass report? No, I don't even know how that would work. Lol, all well. Just a little Canadian gal who supports you. No internet genius or anything. Lol. This is Katie in the DMs asking someone directly to mass report people, just so you see it. And this is why Katie gets so much pushback from people in the YouTube community. Every creator knows how horrible it is to have your channel disabled when you didn't even do anything wrong, and that's what Katie did to Leslie. Okay. Katie threatens to quit.
That's what Katie did to Leslie.
Help me, says the author. P-Gate happens, and Katie promptly named, quote, without a bathroom door. She peed on Instagram Live and then didn't wash her hands. It was heard around the world. One of my personal nightmares was lived, says the author. I'll upload a vid once the noisy blank besides me stops snoring. Here's a link to the tweet. I don't know if that's allowed, but it's all I got. Then the Teen Mom Twitterverse implodes. It gets pretty serious here. Let me shrink this in.
Okay, so here's when it gets real interesting.
There we go. The Teen Mom Twitterverse implodes. It gets pretty serious here. One of Leslie's mods is her sister Flossie. Woo! One of Leslie's mods is her sister, named Flossie. That's a better sentence for me. Okay. Flossie's son is very ill. Sadly, he passes on Tuesday, I believe. I'm still disgusted even reading these messages, but here, somebody leaks a video on YouTube by making it public by accident. This was supposed to be sat on until the funeral was over and the family had time to grieve. The messages are released. I'm not showing them. I'll talk about them after this. Leslie and Flossie are aware of the DMs, but Flossie doesn't know.
So, again, you don't have to take my word for any of this stuff. You can see what's been going on with the back and forth between all of these creators.
They've been released. Steve makes a post on Facebook. He was in Twitter jail because of defamation claims from Katie and does an ELA analysis on the DMs. I'll talk about that later. Steven Unirock stream on YouTube about the released DMs. Unirock invites Katie on to hear her side and try to conclude whether they are fake, as Katie says, or real, as the rest of the world believes. Although I would happily be wrong if they are fake, because I don't want to believe somebody could be so callous. I agree with you, author. By the way, great article. Katie declines in her usual "I'm going to block you" fashion, says that Uni has it out for her and it wouldn't be fair. They link a screenshot there, but then I think she links to my video. I think it's the right one. It is a cluster truck, though. Try not to curse on YouTube. They monetize us for it. In the YouTube stream, Uni says the only way to find out if the DMs are real is to have the source click through the message to KJ. I will get this after I read it. Thank you. On Facebook to make sure it's not a sock account. Katie deletes her Facebook and everything goes to shit once more.
Why? Why do they always do this? It's the craziest shit. Delete the whole channels when shit's going. Burn the whole thing down.
Word gets out. Uni says that's pretty shady. Questions why she would do that if the DMs are fake like she's claiming. Katie claims that the messages are made in an app, uploads several pictures to prove this. Why did she deactivate the Facebook account if they are made in an app? Katie's not a good liar, according to the author. Katie is caught lying in tweets about Flossie, or Crystal in tweets here. I'm not going to show this stuff. Like I said, link in the About section so that you can go through everything yourself. People are tired of the lies, obviously. The tides turn even more. So at this point, everyone is waiting out of respect for Flossie and her son. The source may or may not come out after the funeral is over. No one knows. Katie has changed her Twitter handle and blocked everyone to bar her echo chamber. Some dude took over her previous handle and seems pretty chill. He's having a lot of fun with the mentions and has started contributing. I think that's it. There's a load of Instagram lives, some of which can be found on this channel. And if you are watching this on the replay or you're in my audience and you are a fan of Katie, these Instagram lives will be very important to you at this link.
Okay. Can we finish?
Because that's where a lot of this stuff happened. If she doesn't do it on YouTube, you're not going to see it. And then she can ask for
kind of like when you go to Kick.
More. She can be a kind of a different person and make some accusations and lie without an issue. And you'll find that here if you watch it.
Oh.
And her husband called everybody blank on her live. He seems like a peach. That's all I have. If anyone has any additional info or screenshots that I missed, I would be grateful because, as I said, I'm blocked. Hashtag blocked by Katie Joy. Seriously, look that up. It's funny.
I wonder how many of you are actually blocked by Katie Joy still to this day. I bet there's a lot. I bet there's a lot of you. That's how these people move. All of them. Like Katie and Elle were at one point friends too. Like there's videos of Katie talking about which we'll get into in a minute, but it's just the wild, crazy insanity between this group and the back-ended bullshit has carried over into Marvon's story. And that's why everything has been so extreme from the antis, because they hate Unirock, because Uni has a tendency of being on this side and then comes in as a distraction and kind of takes Katie's side usually, or the other side, and then they fall out and he says all these things about her and then they get back together and then it's all good. Like we overlook everything she's done in the past. Like there's a lot of history. Again, don't take my word for it. You can go down the rabbit hole yourself, and we're going to go down a little bit further after this, but it's insane.
AF. I hope I...
And by the way, I can't stand any of that. Steve, EKC, L, all, nope. And you know what's really wild is in a lot of these videos, most of the same people in my comment section right now freaking out. We're in those comment sections freaking out on it, one side or the other of this back then. It's wild.
I covered the sensitive issues okay. If anyone sees anything wrong, let me know. That's a tough subject. I wouldn't mean to be insensitive on purpose. So yeah, if anyone knows a good remedy for insomnia, hit me up. Now, this is on a Reddit that is formed after all this happened. It's the WOACB Reddit. I urge...
You can find that yourself too. I can put it in the comments section, or I can link it in the video description if you want to see it yourself too. We'll go through a little bit of it, but there is full doxes in there that I'm not going to post on the screen.
All of you to go subscribe to this Reddit. I'm joining it right now. I'll talk to you in there if you join it. This is pretty awesome. I never thought I'd find anything about this on Reddit. It's already on Twitter and Facebook and other networks, so I was a little bit surprised, and there's a lot of stuff on Reddit. Literally, I could go for a long time tonight and just go down all this stuff on Reddit, but I'm not going to.
It would be one thing if he read what was there and said, this was posted by X, Y, and Z, and this is what X, Y, and Z is making as claims. But the problem here, again, is he sensationalizes, he adds to it. He says that there's evidence of these things. So he leads his audience to believe that these are facts that he laid in this video on December 19th. Again, at this point in time, he was obviously against Katie and believed LB. But that quickly changes, of course.
Like I said, I've received a lot of requests from people to send them back emails explaining certain things or to send them back a summation. And I thought to myself, hey, tonight's calm, not much going on, perfect night for a summation and to get caught up on things until new developments happen. That way, maybe tomorrow we can go back to streaming some other stuff because it's been a roller coaster, has it not? But most of all, I want to thank Dolly Nee on Reddit because she did such.
No, y'all, I don't care who's in the comment section. They can be here. I'm not intimidated by people talking shit to me or asking me questions. Like, I expect that. But I'm going to respond to what I actually did claim instead of a response to Uni's mod. I'm going to respond to Uni because that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Navy. I'm not discrediting Navy's proof. It was Nate the lawyer. Like, I'm going to believe Nate over anybody else. So thank you for at least pulling credible content. But again, you're missing the point. Nobody cares about what was done, all of that stuff. We care about the fact, well, I care about the fact that the problematic behaviors of all of these people have affected an actual victim story called Marvon. And it's also such as things when you claim that there's an RO on Molly and you know that and you put it in your title that way, and then you don't have the common decency to go back and credit it and fix it, there's also issues with that. But we have a historical pattern of behavior. Again, I don't know why it makes people uncomfortable because if we were talking about Molly, you'd all be cheering. But it's because this is how Uni has cultivated his crowd. Nothing against it. It's just not for me.
A good job in putting this together, linking things. And I wanted to give her a little bit of attention because if you do go join this Reddit, and then if you leave her a message and let her know, you could probably send her screenshots or things that she needs for this article. Because on Reddit, she can go back and edit this and put in more screenshots or fix something if she feels like.
One thing I've got to say, I got to give Uni props in this one. I have not heard Uni promote or drop his PayPal one time in this. Not once. So the old Uni didn't have that grift dialed in at all. So I've got to give him props. He wasn't doing it every 5 minutes in this one.
Which I think it's damn good up to now. But if she did get more details, more evidence, more links, she could add them in. And this would be, in my opinion, a great resource because it doesn't add too many of the small things, but it doesn't miss too many of the big things to be effective for anyone that watches Katie, who's been.
So again, using somebody else's content to prove a point to his audience, but then come back and kind of discredit said content. Another historical pattern. I'm going to use your content, but in the meantime of using your content, I'm going to discredit you and take all the credit and act like I have this big overinflated ego that I am king of all fraud busting. Nobody wants to be a fraud buster. Let me just say that. That has never been my thing. I don't think I've ever said fraud raiser, and it makes me even cringe to say it. It's just not. Like, that's, again, social media, whatever. I'd rather be a drama commentary channel than a fraud raising buster, whatever the case may be. I don't know. The whole term thing just gets to be so fucking weird.
Brainwashed into thinking that the only truth you're going to find is from Katie. I think if they stumbled upon this, that they would have enough information to know whether
taking somebody else's content and twisting the story.
Whether they want to keep watching Katie or not, that's their choice. I'm not for cancel culture. I think it should be up.
Pay close attention to what he says here.
To each individual person, how they react to what they read, okay?
I'm not
so
against.
I don't think someone should be canceled because of a crowd. I don't think they should try to go with the crowd in canceling someone.
You're not for cancel culture. You don't think people should go with the crowd. Okay, I can get down with that.
I think it should be an individual decision on each person. But when people that are watching Katie or when people that are watching a specific YouTuber, these issues arise and that YouTuber decides to start lying. In my opinion, having a resource like this with screenshots, because I mean, you ever try to go to Twitter to look for something that you want to find on this situation, it's flooded. It takes forever. If you ever try to go to Instagram to watch something, you can't find it. So then you're going to have to go onto YouTube and find a backup channel. And there are channels trying to back up all the Instagrams, but they've only gotten like, some of them are missing certain ones. Anyway, my point before I move on is that this is probably one of the best resources to give to a new Katie viewer that wants to understand things, that wants to see the evidence, and that wants to be able.
The evidence. Again, trying to tell his audience that this is evidence, meaning factual, right?
To have some proof whether Katie's lied to them or not. So I'm asking you one
proof. Big terms.
more thing, and I know I've asked you a lot already, but I'm sorry. If you bump into a Katie viewer or to someone from the communities involved who don't know what's going on, this, in my opinion, is the easy first way to get them.
It sure is a good rundown of the shit show that's been here for years.
Up to date.
I give him that.
It's just my opinion, though. Now, I do need to read the super chats, and then let's talk about the DMs, because we've been fully updated on the DMs, and I've made up my mind on a few things with them. And
y'all, please don't bash him in the comments either. Like, I don't want to be like what just happened to some other people. I don't want that happening here. This is what it is. It is what it is. I'm a little heated because the fact of having Navy respond like that. And again, Navy's his own person. Maybe he wanted to respond, which is totally fine. Again, he can respond to anything, but this will never become me going back at Navy or me like doing content on Navy or the Katie or the L thing. This is about Uni and Uni's problematic behavior, current day behavior, current accountability refusal to take, current affecting other creators around him, and then tries to play the victim in these situations. I'm not here with that. This has nothing to do. I don't hate them. I can't stand them, I should say. I cannot stand. I have been put through hell with the Katie mess of them even assuming I was her. Biggest issue in my life so far for YouTube was just the assumption of being Katie. I want nothing to do with any of these people. Elle is just as messy, in my opinion, as Molly and Katie. But so is Uni.
And then
he might not do things out front and as loud and obnoxious, but misinformation is misinformation, and doing things like he moves is dangerous also. You can compare that he's not as vile. He's not, no. But wrong is still wrong.
I'll just talk to the live chat, I suppose, and we'll just go on over to the after show. So let's go ahead. And thank you very much for being here. Hopefully you liked the fact that this got summed up. So let's do it.
Okay, so I'm not going to go further with that one. So now you can see yourself that he made claims that these were factual things that Katie had done. Again, I don't care. They have done things to Katie. And if you can't admit that, I don't even know who you are. People have done horrible things to Katie. People have done horrible things to Elle. I'm sure Uni's had shit done to him. Steve, I'm sure. Like, this is an intense group of fuckery. And if anybody declines to admit that, can we have some head checks over here? Anyways, let's go to the next one. Let's go to, okay. So we're going to pull the Reddit up. This is the Reddit thread that he was just reading off. Again, I'm going to skip a few of these because there is doxes in this. I will post the link for this because it still does exist over on Reddit. And it is very helpful, honestly, because they provided the proof and everything here. So my main concern is that these guys have just been back and forth forever. They have been spewing shit, telling stories one way, spewing it a different way the next time. Let me make sure I don't get the dox one. I don't care about any TMZ audio. Don't give two shits. The doxing stuff is right here for sure. Let's go to, I'm sure some of you guys have seen this too. Okay. Can you see that?
me during it. And I went in as like a third party to hear what Steve had to say, to hear what Katie Paulson was doing, and to kind of judge things from the outside in. So here's what I've determined after spending a good maybe 16 hours studying the entire incident from both sides and unbiased. I'm going to give you my response now before I start to make videos on this. Okay. Steve and Katie both are making two separate claims. Steve McRae claims that Katie Paulson helped and assisted Kyle Curtis in the
welcome, Mighty Marsha. I've never seen you here before, but since you have a wonderful question, when did he become responsible to you? He's absolutely not. This is called criticism on the internet. This is called commentary. I'm a commentary channel. I respond to locals on the internet. That's what I'm doing. Thank you. He's not responsible for anything to respond to me. This is my opinion on the facts that I have seen and the history that's right here. Again, I'm not picking a side. I want nothing to do with any of them.
The theft of his half of the non sequitur money and to steal his channel. Steve claims that Katie is instigating people to crowd strike others, and that Katie is being influenced by trolls and it basically fed bad information that she uses to justify her actions. Katie says that Steve is sexually harassed her and 4 other women. Katie says that she did not. She denies.
All right. So that is the problem with Katie Joy and Steve. Again, there's a lot in that whole situation. But when Katie started covering the Marvon story, anything Katie touches comes the Katie haters. And there are 2 different sections of those people, but it is intense.
Is the claim that Steve made. And Katie also claims that Steve is the head of a group of trolls, a massive army that goes around and does his bidding. Now, after analyzing the situation, if you've seen the front page of my Twitter, then you now probably know that I have sided.
Marsha, I don't know what you consider whining, but if this is whining to you that I am responding with the facts of why I have the opinion I have, I don't know how to help you with that. You're entitled to your opinions, of course, but I never once said that Uni has to like what I'm saying. He has to respect what I'm saying. He hasn't respected anything I've asked for up to this point in 10 months. So why is he going to start now?
Sided with Steve, and I have done so, though, based on.
And that is directed specifically at Uni, not at Navy, because Navy has been nothing but respectful and kind and caring. And most of his mods are exactly the same way. The shade is not to be thrown at them because those fuckers work hard for him. And he doesn't even understand how hard they work for him. And I shouldn't have called them fuckers. Those assholes. They're not all assholes. Actually, a lot of them are really good people. They do so much for him and have his back at all times. They're wonderful people. A lot of them are great human beings that I was lucky to get to know. But the facts are the facts. And again, it is what it is.
Off of hard evidence. So here it is. Here's the evidence that I found. Where can I side with Katie Paulson on any claim? I cannot. And though
Mighty Marsha, I'm going to address you one more time because obviously you missed the beginning of this. I understand Navy made a video about me. I addressed it. I said that I respect his video. Thank you. I'm not responding to Navy. Navy is not who I have an issue with. Navy is not even on the right track and totally missed the point of what my comments have been and what I have said. To go back and think that I'm defending L in some way in this shape or form shows that the message has been completely missed. That's why we're doing this, because this isn't about any of those creators. I don't want nothing to do with any of them, but they have a problematic history that leads into today's time. I've said this over and over again. That is why we're looking at this, because it is not about L or Katie or anything. This problematic past behavior of all of them is still happening today.
And so I would now ask Katie Paulson, as I did yesterday, to provide me with evidence that Steve has done any of the things that she claims he has. But the problem is she blocked me after I asked her. And I even put in the message to Katie that I was not trolling her and that I was an outside party and I would be fair about this. And I just wanted her evidence. Now, luckily, I have an Instagram video that Katie did yesterday, or not, what Katie did while Steve was live, I believe. Could have been right before he went live.
The Observer, thank you. I'll take things at my pace, though. I'm sorry if you aren't interested. You can leave and come back later, or you don't have to watch.
But luckily, I have
facts and history are important to me, if you haven't noticed that.
an Instagram video where Katie is prepped by her own audience into showing evidence against Steve, and she pulls up some screenshots. So let's go through it. So damning piece of evidence against Katie Paulson, number one. Inside of her comments section, she did a video yesterday targeted to Steve McRae, saying that Steve McRae is harassing her. And after the video, in the comments section, she replied to certain people. I screenshotted that. I screenshotted what.
Bro, come on. You've been around here for 8 years. You got better trolls than this. Come on. Send the funny ones at least. You do have some funny ones over there. Can you send them? Because these ones are lame. Like, I keep explaining the same thing over and over again to them. I mean, it's kind of fitting. We kind of have to do the same thing with you. But can you send the funny ones? We would really like some entertainment in this because this is dry as fuck. I'll give that to y'all. I can't stand Katie content. That's why I don't do it. I can't stand Elle content. That's why I don't do it. They are absolutely the same in my opinion. But that's my opinion based on the fucking facts in their problematic history.
What she said to those people, and I put it on my Twitter so that you can see it. That way you can make up your own mind. Because if you see who Katie is responding to and what she is responding to, what they say, I believe it will influence you to agree with me on my conclusion that I'll give here in a few minutes.
I believe it will influence you to agree with me. Do you understand the words he's using? This leads your audience to believe that you are providing proof and factual information. This is a problem, and this is why these things become problematic. You don't speak on things until you make sure you know all of the details. There's a lot of things that I've had to table because we can't figure out certain pieces of it. That's why I don't make egregious claims that I can't back up or write checks that my ass can't cash. I can't even say that right today.
Piece of evidence number two. I just found an Instagram. I've been searching for Katie's Instagram live streams. So one thing Katie does, she goes live on Instagram. And at first I thought she was deleting the Instagrams after, but she's not. What she's doing is making sure inside of her Instagram settings to not save her videos on Instagram.
Thank you, Kitten Claus. I just saw Heels comment. Thank you, Heels. I'm not on that screen, so thank you so much for letting me know. Welcome to the cabana.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
And you guys are mean. Every time there's a bunch of lurky-loos in here and people trying not to get busted in the bushes, they start fucking plucking you off in the bushes. Just beware, trolls. You're probably going to get gifted a membership in some, like, every morning 6 a.m. positive post from Nonsense, your favorite person. Welcome to the cabana. Thank you, Kitten Claus.
So basically, on these, I found one of her Instagram streams. If any of you have any more of her Instagram streams, please upload them and give me a link. We need these.
Again, just going to point out once again, he's asking people to send him the information instead of doing the content and the research himself. If you have any of this, please send it to me. That is still how he maneuvers. That is why his mods are incredible, because they literally spoon feed him every single bit of his content. If it wasn't for the clip channels and the drama and all the bullshit that he could bank off of, yeah.
These, because what I'm doing is creating a response video where I take all the evidence that I found and I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to go point by point with the strongest points to the weakest points so that Katie's audience.
Okay, so basically you've heard the same spiel that we hear current time. Nothing's really changed. I'm going to go point by point. I'm going to tell you all these things, but I'm not going to show you anything. Okay.
Or Steve's audience can click the video and see the evidence for themselves. So it's going to take a while to do this, and I need more of her Instagram videos. But in the Instagram video, she states, she literally admits to striking every one of Steve's videos herself. She admits to telling people to strike Steve's videos and other people's videos. And interestingly enough, at the 18-minute mark, you can find everything I'm referring to on my
Yo, Islanders, what the hell is wrong with this? Were we destined to come back to this? Why is he saying 18?
Twitter. On the 18-minute mark, Katie literally tells people excuses for why
Twilight Zone.
Leslie Bass broke guidelines. Most of the time, guys, when somebody is trying to make excuses for why Leslie broke guidelines, this would mean that Katie has been filing strikes. But another piece of evidence literally has Katie telling people to go strike the videos against her. Now, the interesting thing is there were only about 2 people making videos against Katie when she told people to go strike these videos. All evidence is on my Twitter if you scroll down it. And Steve McRae and Leslie were the 2 people making videos about Katie when she stated for...
No, JD, that's not what I'm doing, actually, but you can't twist the narrative in my own chat because the Islanders know exactly what I'm doing. They don't hear one thing and perceive it a different way. They actually hear what I say and understand what I say because I walk it back with exactly what I say. This has never been about Navy. I will address Navy's comments about the vet bashing. I know that veterans are asked and criticized, but there is also reason for a lot of things here that we're not going to just sugarcoat or go over. I'm not ready to open that door. I said the term vet bashing because I knew that was what was going to gravitate. I knew that was going to spark an interest because it was a genuine conversation that we had in the comment section and they didn't hear what was said. You can go Google it yourself. You can go look up a legal definition of it. Again, it falls under protected class, veteran status, hate speech, but there has to be elements of it. And Uni uses it to control a narrative and to stop the questioning. Anytime anybody criticizes him or questions him, he brings up his vet status. This isn't what we're doing. And it's not vet bashing when you yourself have made many claims and then another claim contradicts those claims. That is called questions. People are entitled to question you when you come out and provide this information verbally to your audience. When there is misconceptions from your own statements, that is why people have questions. So as soon as people have questions, you can't throw up, I'm going to use what's her name's word, buzzwords to control the audience and shut it down. I am not going after him about his vet status whatsoever. I can 100% confirm that he was in the military. That I can say, and I will say. But this isn't vet bashing him when Uni is criticized. I'm not talking about his vet status right now. That is not on the table. I wasn't disrespectful when I brought up the conversation. That was actually brought up in my comment section, and we generally flowed into it because I had to learn what it was and what it isn't. It is used in the conspiracy world on social media. It's not a legal definition or a legal term. And again, I encourage you to do your own research. You don't have to take my word on it. That's why we're here, because too many people hear things out of creators' mouth and believe it without seeing facts.
For her audience to strike videos that were made to her. Yes, Katie did tell people to strike Leslie's channel. Yes, Katie did tell people to strike.
Meaning, I love Navy. This has nothing to do with Navy, and I'm sorry that he took offense to the term vet bashing. That is not what it is. But when we are using terms like that, it demeans the people who are actually, like, anytime Uni is criticized, we can't go to vet bashing. And that's what he does with Elle, Molly, and those guys. And I honestly, like, Elle, she pushes it a little bit, but there's questions, and it happens because this is their problematic history that comes in today. Again, this isn't about Navy, and I'm sorry he was offended by it, but it's a genuine conversation that needs to be had.
Strike Steve's channel. The evidence is on my Twitter feed. Yes, Katie did give excuses for why everyone should strike Leslie's channel and Steve's channel, even admitting herself to striking Steve's channel 18 times.
So there again, he's just saying things as facts, which he will switch up on.
Evidence on my Twitter front end.
Yes, they are absolutely. If you would want to talk about it, you could say they are harassing me. They are cyber stalking me. They're cyberbullying me. Vet bashing has a different connotation in this arena. They are not going after Uni because of his vet status. Does anybody on the internet 100% have confirmation of Uni's vet status or what he did and didn't do? No. At least they shouldn't. I don't. I have questions because of the knee-jerk reaction that was provided, because I was very genuinely not trying to demean his vet status. It's a conversation about terms that are misused constantly, and they're a way to control a narrative.
Also, she makes the claim that Steve sexually harassed her and shows evidence. The problem is her evidence doesn't show that Steve sexually harassed her. And by the same logic that she's using to say that Steve sexually harassed her, then she then would be considered a sexual harasser because she has done the same thing in the same screenshot that she provided from Steve. You know, Katie, you cannot make sex.
Nothing I do over here will ever take off as being called vet bashing. Let's just establish that. You'll never get me to fill that need. You'll never get me to bash a veteran. I will tell you facts, though. I will 100%. But factual evidence and things that we know, if you have the right to call out other people and talk about their financial things and the things that they do online, again, we have to expect that full criticism back on us. But I will never bash his vet status. Questioning it isn't bashing. Just like Letitia. Questioning Letitia's motives isn't attacking her. We can't use those terms when it fits the narrative that we are trying to push. It's either all across the board or nothing.
Sexual statements. And then when a man says a sex statement about another, like, you can't make sexual statements about a girl's butt, and then when Steve does it, say that Steve is harassing that girl. You are then harassing that girl too with that logic. But good for you and Steve, neither of you harassed anyone. Because it's bad logic. It's not harassment.
Okay, but these are your opinions and you're putting them off as fact. Again, you weren't even in the middle of this shit, but because you were affiliated with Steve at that time and Leslie at that time, you're bashing Katie here and saying all these things were factually done. But then you want to say Elle had none of this stuff happen. This is why you cannot over sensationalize or over evidence. If it's not evidence and you don't have it in your hand, wait. Because then you don't have to go back. Well, you didn't go back, sadly.
The main thing that I have to say to you is if you go to my Twitter and you look at everything that I've tweeted since yesterday, which now it's probably been 24 hours of me conducting this investigation here against this.
Thank you, Heels. Thank you, Heels. In fact, Heels, you want a wrench? You can have a wrench too if you want. Heels is like keeping me in check over here. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
Thanks, Jen. Thank you. Welcome to the island, the cabana, whatever we are. Okay, let's get back to it.
If you look on my Twitter, you're going to find all the evidence that shows that Katie is a troll. Okay? She's
actually, he called Charlotte a liar, Alicia. I was really disgusted by that too, because of the past problematic history with Charlotte, they completely discredited what Charlotte was going through. And the fact of it is many of us have been a part of the ongoing shit that has been happening over there. Like, they tried to get Ski to go at some of us. They have had Ski as a constant distraction, and he has attacked his ex-girlfriend online. He has attacked other women in this sector. He has attacked numerous people over and over again. It shouldn't be about Charlotte. He attacked Bombshell. He attacked FU Tragedy Pimps. He's attacked many, many people verbally and said some of the most horrific things. And yes, they did excuse the behavior because it was Charlotte and they don't like Charlotte. And she's known to have a history of poking somebody and then crying victim. Well, so does Uni.
He's lost the plot. And when losing the plot, a lot of times you become a troll at either why you mean to or not.
No, I don't need to talk to anybody about the situation with Charlotte. I have my own history that I can pull up and leave Charlotte completely out of it. And the situation is still there. And if you, a man, have to overlook because somebody had problematic history, if that was your kid and they had gotten in trouble before, and then they don't deserve help this time because they had a problematic past. And I mean, really? It should be across the board. Wrong is wrong. It shouldn't matter. You don't have to like her to stand up for the fucking wrongdoing that's happening. That is absolutely a cop-out and disgusting. And that's what's happening within this crew. You guys continue to bring that bullshit into today's problems, and it overshadows what is actually going on.
You got me? So even if Katie isn't meaning to be a troll.
No, Holy Spackle, you are misjudging and completely wrong. You have a preconceived notion. Totally fine. I don't care. We're not going to see eye to eye on this. You're not going to get me to stop where I'm headed. It is what it is. Okay? I don't know what else to tell you.
She is. She's literally, when she went live on Instagram and told people that Leslie Bass was breaking community guidelines after tweeting and Facebooking out instructions for people to strike those videos.
And what's the third time going to hurt you, Holy Spackle? What's the third time going to help you? I don't give a shit if you helped her 2 times in the past and she didn't take it in the same shit. I don't care. Uni's done the same shit how many times now? And he gets a pass? The fuck out of here.
She is instigating a mass of people to go strike Leslie's videos. Yes, that's why Leslie's channel is under review. And yes, Katie Paulson, I can prove that you're to blame. I'm not just going to claim it. I can prove it. It's on my Twitter. I've already proven it. And I'm going to take it to YouTube and I'm going to show the whole community what you're doing. Okay? I wanted to do this with you, Katie Paulson. I don't even think you can see this now. Maybe you'll see it when I'm done. Maybe somebody will clip it and send it to you. I don't know.
Holy Spackle, now you're just being immature as hell. I'm going to address you one more time because it's easier than listening to Uni ramble on and on and on. Because he's proving my point right here. Again and again. We're talking about his behavior. I'm sorry that you don't want to see, but you just heard him say he's going to prove to you that Katie's responsible for this. You heard him say he had evidence of this. Again, we focus on patterns of behavior and the facts over here. This is from 2019. And their problematic behavior, all of them still exists. And it affects other communities because all of them move. They move from one community to another, to another, to another.
I wanted you to be on my channel to defend yourself when I presented this because it's going to make your YouTube presence, it's going to make you look really bad on YouTube. And it seems like you're doing all of this to try to save face. You can't do what you're doing and save face at the same time. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. So other things that she says, basically, like I said, she accused Steve of leading a troll army, but all the evidence shows that Katie's leading a troll army. It's on my Twitter now. I have these Instagram videos where she's saying all of this. Well, the problem is some people will be like,
can those of you that actually understand, are you guys getting the point of this? Am I speaking completely in different tongues? Am I shooting over your heads completely here? Is anybody failing to see a pattern of behavior besides his people? Which again, I don't, they've got rose-colored glasses on. My people that support me probably do too at times. But can we get some, do you guys know where you're at? Cash. Let's be honest. Thank you. PG, you're very confused. Yeah. You're back lane. Becca. Okay. Texas Tiff, you're good. Okay. Thank you, Heels. Okay. Thank you. I'm like, what the hell?
She's not saying it on YouTube. She doesn't have to. Here's why. The group of people that is going to watch her on YouTube, that group of people is going to consist of her hardcore followers and many, many, many casual viewers. The only group of viewers that will follow her onto Instagram, the only group of viewers that'll follow her onto Facebook are the dedicated followers. And she knows, Katie Paulson knows, that the only followers that will care enough about Katie to go attack Leslie, to go file reports, to go attack Steve, are hardcore followers. So she doesn't have to go on YouTube. All the hardcore
Stitching. Navy has his own voice. Nobody is discrediting Navy's voice. Don't bash Uni's chat, but look at his problematic behavior. Nonsense. I enjoy you, but this is wrong. Can you tell me again what you're trying? Nobody's discrediting Navy's voice. I just acknowledged Navy has a channel. Navy has a voice. I respect Navy's. Again, this is nothing to do with vet bashing. That was a genuine conversation that a lot of you took and ran with, and it definitely showed a bunch about a lot of people, because you say you stand for the victims, but then you try to control people when it's uncomfortable for you. I don't do it. That was a genuine conversation about the facts. Vet bashing isn't it, and it dumbs down and completely takes when things actually are happening away.
followers that would listen to her request to do these trolling things are already going to be on Facebook or Instagram following her. What she does is she goes to YouTube and says, if you really liked me, go follow me on Instagram. Then when she wants her troll
Heels, you're absolutely right, because this has nothing to do with that. And this is the ultimate control. You can see what's happening here. That's why they continue to do that. That's why that video was released. It's a way of controlling a narrative. I'm cool with it, but it's just not going to get life.
troll army, her unknowing troll army, because they're being lied into doing this, to go file strikes on Leslie, to go file strikes on Steve. She doesn't have to go to YouTube then. She can go to Instagram. She can go live, knowing that her most dedicated followers have it turned on for notifications. They're going to watch her. They're going to get her orders. They're going to hear what she has to say. Then she goes off the air. That video gets deleted.
JD, my mods are absolutely fine. They're totally fine. I don't even know what they're doing, nor do I care. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure you came back in 5 minutes. Everything's fine in the world. It's YouTube, man.
And she's got an entire army of harassers and trolls, doxers, and report filers to go do this. And
Wait, what did you say? I can't go on. You can't go on about history and then say I don't give a shit about info. What do you mean? I never said I didn't give a shit about info. Again, I'm not really sure what you're trying to say here. Please be just blunt, straight out. Say it all the way out, because I'm not reading between the lines. Thank you.
that's what happened to Leslie's channel. And Steve's channel also is under threat of going down because of this. Okay? It's a tactic that is used by the worst kinds of YouTubers. You get me? Most YouTubers will say the same thing on every platform to an extent. I understand why.
Oh my God, y'all. Stop with the Navy shit. Okay, this is the last comment I'm addressing about this. Navy is allowed. I'm not mad. Navy is allowed to. Why do I need to address Navy? Navy addressed me. I don't need to address Navy back. That's what the expectation here is. I'm talking about what is problematic for me, and that is Uni, not Navy. Navy's entitled to have his opinion. I respect Navy. I'm not talking about Navy with any of these situations. I'm sorry that Navy was offended by my wording. And you're right, I did say that Navy might want to respond. He did. That is great. I'm talking about Uni. Navy, Navy's not on the radar. He co-signed some bullshit. But hey, he loves the man. Okay, so be it. Move on. Again, so fucking weird. Stop trying to control what I'm doing. None of you run me.
YouTubers sometimes don't want to give somebody attention on a big platform. Completely different than this situation. But the key thing here, she's literally telling people bold-faced lies on Instagram. while telling them to CrowdStrike and harass. I was almost, slightly knocked out of my chair when I heard what she said on Instagram. The video is linked below this on my Twitter front page. And it's because
Okay, just so you guys are clear, I haven't seen any proof of any of the claims that he's made that Katie was responsible for this or that or did do these things. Just establishing right here, again, a lot of wording. Obviously, he didn't have clip channels to pull evidence from. He was waiting on people to send him Instagram videos. So again, he's in the developmental stages of making his opinion. I get that. But he is stating things as facts, and it's misinformation, because then he changes his opinion. If you base your things on facts, it doesn't change. You don't have to go back and correct it. We always will make mistakes. We are human beings. That is one thing. It is not another thing to completely overlook a pattern of behavior because it makes you uncomfortable. This is what it is.
She makes the claim that Steve defrauded the government again. She has no evidence to say this and claims that she does. And when she shows that evidence in the Instagram stream, the screenshots don't show what she says they show. She showed screenshots of Steve saying, look, I don't mind if I have to wait a little bit to get my money. But she uses that screenshot to tell her audience that Steve didn't want his money. That's not Steve saying he didn't want his money. That's Steve saying, if I have to wait, okay, fine. I'm not going to be a dick.
So he was defending Steve back in here. Again, relationships change, it maneuvers. This happens a lot. We call it the purge over here. That's what I'm going through right now. It's a purge. It's a great thing. This needs to happen so growth can happen. I don't need this weight on my shoulders of carrying around and feeling like a hypocrite every day, because when I get called out because I'm not correcting Uni's misinformation when he's using the same shit that I've provided or Heels or somebody else and inflates that content in itself, we have to come to a decision of whether you call him out or you try to make excuses for him. I'm not in the business of making excuses for anyone's behavior, and it puts me in a bad spot. And this has been months of it, months and months and months. And again, there is an ultimate thing here that everybody is passing off like it's no big deal. There is people's safety at risk by the way he moves. What he did to Queen Bee by not sending her this letter, all of those things, tagging her in a video, he was more concerned about content than he ever was about Queen Bee's safety. As a father himself, he should have always been concerned about a female and her children's safety when some creep on the internet that we've been trying to tell everybody has dangerous behaviors is doing something like that. That is absolutely disgusting, and you will never get me to say anything else about it. That is the same thing of using my CPS calls, my doxing as content. I didn't use it as content because it's not content to me. It affected with my real life. Again, we're not the same. I'm not expecting us to be the same. But when you continually put females with children as content instead of their safety, we're going to have a conflict of interest.
You got me? How does it make sense, Katie, that Steve...
And I'm not trying to cancel Uni. I'm not trying to tell people to unsub Uni. I'm not trying to tell people anything. I'm addressing my opinion based on the facts and what I've seen, because I went back to put in the pieces of how all this shit's been going on. Why is Elle so problematic? Because anytime you go at Elle about misinformation, she comes back about some bullshit with Katie Joy. I'm not Katie Joy. Let's address the misinformation that you've put on Marvan's story time and time again. But this is why they do that. It's because it's a revolving cycle and they all have a hatred for each other, a very personal hatred. This ain't no personal thing. Again, I fucking adore Navy. Cherie. A lot of his mods are wonderful. I don't know Uni. I don't know Uni Rach. I know his mods, and I will never discredit that. Was I a little fired up because I was like, this is one of those things of Navy responding? No, Navy's allowed to respond. But Uni does clickbait shit just like me. Oh, I'm going to address nonsense as lies, makes a post, tags me in it, and then never, come on, dude. Like, every time I have criticized you or basically asked for a little bit of respect, you come back and backhand me with some bullshit excuses instead of just being like, man, I did do that. I fucking did do that. And then I discredit her. And like, I always gave you credit for getting my channel to 1,000. Granted, it was only a couple hundred, which again, it doesn't matter. I've always given you credit. But when shit really gets to me, and there's a serious issue here, because you guys don't understand. There's a lot of you that miss the concept that some of us are not infiltrated in every one of these areas because we avoid them like the plague. We don't want those avenues to continue because they're dangerous. I don't move like that. And this shit affects so many people.
Steve wouldn't want his money, right? You're not thinking about what you're saying at this point. No human being is just going to give another person.
If they say shit about T. Kelly in my comment section, please block them. Get the fuck out of here, because they are not going to go at T. Kelly again.
All of their revenue. What the fuck? At the same time, when your troll army is insulting Steve because, hey, he's wearing old headphones. Hey, he's living in a blah, 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 you know? It's so fucked that they do this. But anyway, back to what I was saying, though. I'm going to do a YouTube video edited, because if I go live, it's not going to be as effective. I'm going to do an edited video. I've already put like 20 hours into this. I put that long stream.
Okay, so same things he does still today. He says he's going to do this. He's going to do the documentaries. He's going to put all this proof together, and then he just does another live stream, and there's still nothing. Anyways, patterns of behavior.
With Steve into this yesterday. I'm a little bit exhausted, but
I'm exhausted too. Thank you for reminding me. We're done listening to that because there's other shit we want to get to. Okay, let's go over here. Give me 1 second. Let me get into my history for a minute. And then the point was completely missed. We were watching a video of Elle. It got mentioned in the comment section that they were vet bashing Uni. I said, actually, that's really kind of not a thing, because they weren't. They were not using his veteran status to attack him. They were calling out his behavior and his misinformation. Okay, let's get to it. It's this one. Okay. We're going to skip through this again. This is under fair use content. This one here, let me tell you a date. I got to switch screens. Give me a second. Y'all know me. I'm not the techie one over here. So this is from December 14th, 2019. All right. World-ending realizations. Leslie Bass without a crystal ball. Steve McRae. Preparing final video. You guys got that one? Yep. Okay. Good deal. Here we go. We're going to skip around to this one too, because this is longer than I even wanted to. I'm trying to get the point back to, this has nothing to do with vet bashing. And again, Navy, I am extremely sorry that you took personal offense to what I said. It is not about your veteran status, whether he did or didn't serve. That has nothing to do with this in the big scheme. There is zero accountability for his actions and his behaviors that go on. That was a genuine conversation that was brought up between me and my chat. And then I was like, here it is. This is what I've been researching, because it's not. It's not a legal definition. It's not outside the social sphere. It would be called harassment, cyber stalking, cyberbullying. That's where it would fall. And that's not what they're doing. Again. Okay. This one's got really obnoxious music with it. I think pretty much all the way through.
Like, what's with the cereal, dude? Busy, my assistant, has to have him. I'm telling him. He wants to have him in at least every video. At least for a little bit. He's obsessed with the little cereal guy. He thinks it's like, thinks the cereal guy's cute or something. Okay, don't ask me. I'm not in charge around here. He is. The only time you're going to hear me say that, big guy. Anyway,
Here,
so,
let me send
hello
you
guys,
that.
good to see you. So I've broken this back down. I started at the beginning, and especially when I have not been live streaming, you guys know I did a video yesterday responding to the drama and all the crap going on. I wanted to see how people reacted before I decided to go live again. And people have reacted, so whatevs. So here's what I did. On my downtime, on top of video production, which took most of it, I started at the beginning of the story and worked my way in, and I hit a specific part. I think I've kind of gotten things down to a point. I'm going to go through them with you, but I hit a specific part of the story where, in my opinion, there's some issues, and I'm hoping I can get some help with it. So I tried to reach out to Leslie before this, and I couldn't get her. She's busy, and she's got a life, and I don't expect to be able to get a hold of her easily or quickly, especially on a Saturday. You know, we're all chilling, having a great night.
I just dropped that Reddit thread. So if you want to go watch the rest of that original video, if you want to see the doxing, if you want to see all of that stuff yourself, I'm not going to go through all of it because it's redundancy. Because at the end of the day, none of this matters. None of that past history matters. I don't care who did what. They all had a hand in doing a whole lot of shit. There was a lot of people that got doxxed. There was a lot of accountability that was shifted on that. There was a lot of same thing. There's just a pattern of behavior that's more problematic than anything else. And the lack of accountability of how it affects other creators that you call in your community or in communities around you. That's what this should be about.
And all that. Anyway, though, I will probably get a hold of her tomorrow or Monday or whenever it's, you know, easy for her. And plus, you guys might be able to help me so I don't have to bother her. Although I do want to talk to her, and I will because I've reached out. I have been given a way to reach out, and I've reached out. So I'm going to get her in for an interview, hopefully live. If not live, it's going to be her option. We'll do it off the air because the same thing's going to happen with Katie. Here's what I've heard about Katie. And I know some people are going to be like, you're going to talk to Katie? Because when I was live on Periscope today, people were a little bit shocked about it. I think I am.
So it's interesting to me that before Katie was going to deny having a conversation with him, she wanted nothing to do with him. She was actually mad that he was calling her out. And then as soon as she potentially agrees to have an interview with him, he says it out loud, just like he did with the Dre thing. He announced that he was going to have an interview with Dre, even though that was not confirmed. And then he got everybody riled up and didn't even think about what he was doing by putting her safety at risk. That's something else that we need to take into account. We creators make a choice to come out here and put our lives out here. Dre is a victim. If you cared about Marvon, you would have cared more about their safety and their privacy than announcing that you might have future content of Dre coming on your show. That was disrespectful, and anybody that stands or says they stand for Marvon or the victims should have had a problem with that. You didn't address it. She didn't come on your show either. I've never had contact with her, and there's no jealousy about that whatsoever because I refused to. Because I didn't need her at the time to tell or fit in the story because it's too much of a safety risk. They were still going at her. They still are going at her. Her safety is more important to me than content for YouTube. I refused. I could have reached out to her just like anybody else. I didn't. And that was a personal choice. Do I fault him for that? No. Anybody, whatever, reach out if you want to. But where it crosses that boundary is when you don't even think about other people's safety and what you're doing.
According to Katie, she has told several people to let me know that she'll talk to me, but I need to reach out to her. So I'm going to. Whoopsie. Hey, Quisa, appreciate your efforts to cover this uni. It's been a stressful few months for everybody. Well, Quisa, I know it has, and I'm happy to be able to tell you that I think I've broken this thing down. I think I know where we're at, and I've got several videos to make. One on this situation, one on another, maybe even a third one. So anyway, hear me out because I know what I'm doing, man. I know what I'm doing here. Okay, so let's get into it. One, I'm going to talk to Leslie as long as she's willing to talk to me. Two, and it's from everything I've heard, she is. Two, I've reached out waiting to hear back before the stream and waited. That's why we're on a little late. I was going to go early. You guys know I flip-flop I haven't told you yet. No, I did tell.
So he was trying to get both Katie and Elle on his show to have interviews with them and lay out everything, blah, 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 blah. You get it.
Oh, you in my video? Did I yesterday? I don't know. I was going to put up a video.
Those of you that pay attention can probably understand that there was more of an excitement over a certain creator getting on the channel. And it seems like opinions definitely sway or change with situations.
Today too, but instead I did a lot of work on this. So this stream. It turned into a long day of prepping this stream. Tomorrow I'm uploading. I don't care if I don't go live tomorrow because I'm uploading and hopefully I'll do both. So I've flip-flopped my schedules. You guys know I was coming online at 11, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. even. And luckily, I took that day off to sleep. Then after that, I did video production, took the next day for video production, released a video. Everybody's happy. I think. No. A lot of people are mad. Well, that's what I hope happens. I hope everybody lets go. And no one's having fun anymore, man. At least in this story. I think Katie still is. She's doing her thing. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with people chilling out. I hope people on Twitter chill out because Twitter.
You notice how quick the shift is. Oh, I hope, Katie, we're, chilling out. Like, how much of a shift?
Twitter's been a war zone. I went live on Periscope, which is connected to Twitter, as I said, and people keep saying to me, Twitter is a dumpster fire. Twitter is a war zone. Twitter. And I have to say they are correct. Now, if you follow me and before the situation. A lot of you guys found me through the situation. If you're watching this video, I would assume. But if you followed me before the situation, you know we aim to come to a conclusion. We aim to all chill, have a good time. We usually laugh through things, and that's been something lacking lately. We are getting back to it. I'm telling you.
Yes, absolutely, T. I agree with you. This should not be a sub battle. Like, I don't even understand what's happening here with the subs. Like, I'm addressing it. It's really interesting, though, because it's just who likes who. It's all about that. It should be about the facts. That's what it's really sad to see, is people can't even put down their preconceived notions and listen to what's actually said, what's actually intended. This is not about the subs. Granted, some of the subs have been getting attacked by each other when they express, I'm not attacking you guys, I'm answering your questions. Except some of you dumbasses that just continue to poke on the same things. Navy's entitled to his opinion. I don't have to respond to Navy. I'm not going to respond to Navy. I respect Navy enough to leave Navy out of it. That's where we lay. T. Kelly has been absolutely fine that I've seen. God, I just don't understand. Like, what is this? Like, you all have to like me or we all have to agree. Nah, it's fucking 2023. There's a shit ton of a big internet out here. Keep it moving.
We got to be able to get back to it. Maybe that's why Busy put the cereal guy in the stream. Is that why? Is that your way of telling us that you want to be able to laugh and joke and have a good time again? Okay, I get it there, big guy. Can you please take him down for a minute, though? You can put him back up in a second. Thank you. So, anyway. Bing. Okay, let's see what we got. Where'd that go? Please email me back, Wessy's wife. I will. I'm sorry. It's been a few days. I got through some emails. I will get.
All right, I can't do any more of that. Let's just skip to the part at the end. So he goes back through and like he starts to backtrack his claims that this was factual evidence. He starts backtracking. Again, I'll link this in the description. You can watch the whole thing. I am not interested because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about their problems, who did what, none of it. But don't come out here pointing fingers at everybody else and saying that they did this and they did that when all of you had a hand in all of this. This is just not, and it's been continued pattern of behavior. You're in the middle of a bunch of women's drama back then. Over here, cool. I mean, whatever floats your boat. There's no problem with that. You can respond, commentate, whatever. But if you're going to be in women's business, you should at least put women's safety before content. I'm going to get to the end of this. Thank you, Sonny.
A bit restricted, like with the other.
So he was initially taking up for Steve in this video. They were kind of like, he was saying some things and kind of starting to walk his previous statements back. So,
well, I honestly was not going to respond to Steve yet on YouTube. And I'll just tell you everything.
So meanwhile, Steve, as Uni is live, you'll see what happens. So they were friends up until this point. So Uni started to walk back his theory here that Katie was responsible, even after saying and claiming profoundly, as you've heard, that it was her at fault, that she did these things. He's seen the evidence, all of the same things that he does today. The speculation, the expansion of the topics, clickbait, terribly, the whole thing, like just misinformation in general, which is against terms of service, by the way. So is misrepresentation. But, I mean, we can talk about terms of service because not only is a vet status protected, there's a lot of things that are protected out here. Like, I'm just irritated right now. Anyways, so here is going to be the typical Uni when somebody responds in a way that's not favorable to him at the moment.
It's been going on, I guess, in the background. And I suppose it didn't work, Nick. Didn't work, Dave. Didn't work, Reds. Sorry. But anyway.
I'm not either, Running Bear. It's annoying.
But before we go there, of course, I can't believe that anything I said right now would require any type of negative thing. I don't understand. And how would this put on a show? Literally the logic is insane. Okay.
You were walking back what you had previously stated as fact. Anybody should have a problem with that because you stated you had seen the evidence and that it was factual. So obviously Steve's going to be pissed that you're going against his narrative if that was his narrative. This is why facts are important. Evidence is actually important before making claims like you just did.
Although the last thing I was going to do was go through the other things that Katie had done and discuss them, to be fair, because I brought up those major things. And then I talked about the, harassment for a second. And then I was going to go into the other stuff that we could probably look to Katie and say, these are negative things. These are bad things there. Just to be fair, just to make sure it's represented. And I wasn't even going to talk about Steve tonight. I don't know why he's trashing me. So,
So Steve and him were fine up until this point.
Let's go ahead and respond, I suppose. That's as far as I'll go. I'll just go there. Let me make sure I got it pulled up.
This is Uni's typical.
So, this is, I guess, just 5 minutes ago from Steve. Seems Unirock decided to go this route. His narrative is just a convoluted mess and has made it far more difficult for us to actually explain the facts to people. I'll never place views over facts. Really, Steve? And
really, Uni? Really, Uni?
We'll continue to give people information they can actually trust and rely on. Like the screenshot information that you stated on your channel the other night, the next day you would be interviewing someone that would end up confirming the screenshots from
that you confirmed as evidence, as factual evidence. Don't put that off on him, because we just watched you do the same thing.
Person M and person X and person B and person 12. You shouldn't be doing this, man, because honestly, this needs to be said. You're being very hypocritical.
This needs to be said. I agree.
Critical, and the whole community can see it. Really?
Touche. Actually, I'm not a community. I'm in a raft, probably with holes poked in it at this point.
Anyone disagree there?
I gotta laugh.
In the chat too to see what you guys want to add. I suppose we might as well just go old-fashioned dumpster fire tonight, y'all. You ready? Fuck trying to be cool. And try to avoid YouTube with it, but you're being very hypocritical because, Steve, one thing that I was going to do for the video I put up yesterday, I was going to go through...
Tammy, that doesn't change the facts. Again, I don't care why his opinion changed. When you give something as a fact and say you've seen the evidence, that it's factual, I don't care what happens when somebody gets emotional and does a bunch of stupid shit and horrible attacks. Again, I don't fuck with people like this because they're all terrible pieces of shit. Steve, I have ignored time and time again in my inbox because I want nothing to do with them. This was Becky figuring out why I've been lumped in with a community that I don't move like, that I don't fuck with. There's not only Uni that's involved in shit like this, that brings a distraction. This is one side of what's been going on. I call out and have called out other people in our community for what has been going on with what they've done. And you guys cheer that on. But because you like him, it's not, you're blinded to see what's right in front of your faces. This is why the hypocrisy doesn't, and the double standards don't work when you tote yourself as a fraud buster, as the guy that's coming in on the white horse with a hero complex to save everybody. That doesn't work. We don't need that. We need truth and facts, because there are a lot of dangerous individuals out here on these streets doing horrible shit. But this doesn't help our cause whatsoever.
Every single time in the last 7 or 8 months that Steve McRae said, ironically, Unirock will be fair. Unirock will be unbiased. Blah, 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 blah. Then I was going to cut over to you stating, Uni, I want you to criticize both sides. I want you to call out everything that's wrong with the story. I want you to do not just Katie. I don't want you to just, let me off the hook. I could bring up all those clips. And in one stream, I think he said that, like 12 times. So I could go there. Then I could go into,
the truth shouldn't hurt, because even though I'm sarcastic and throw some shade and shit, this is about the facts. You should see some of the shit that's said about me all day long. You don't give it life if it's not true. And 99% so far has just been fucking bold-faced lies and accusations, because that's what this group is known for. This isn't personal. Nobody's feelings should get hurt over the truth. This should have never been a personal thing, but their personal beef exists today from years previous.
All the stuff that you said, me sitting there asking you what I got wrong on my stream, the first stream where I criticized you, which, by the way, this wasn't a criticism of you tonight at all. Well, you know, I keep looking at how you're acting, and I ask myself, is there a reason?
All based off, seems Unirock decided to go this route. His narrative is just a convoluted mess and has made it far more difficult for us to actually explain the facts to people. Fuck, oh dear, why would I ever agree with Steve McRae? But man, I do with that statement. I'll never place views over facts. Well, I can't say that it's truthful because I don't know you well. And you know what the sad thing is you can take and go and find content and of all the people that have said things. PJ, who is one of Dolly's mods, or maybe girlfriend, I don't know. Like, they did videos. There's millions of videos out here that exist with the history. You don't even have to take it from the anti's perspective. There's people that are completely third parties that have just provided the proof. And sadly, these are things that have gone on. It is what it is.
Why this is happening? Like, seriously, because it happens when I bring up the screenshots, and it just happened when I brought up the super chat stream. You know, it just happened when I brought up the Katie Paulson struck Leslie down thing and super chat stream. You know, maybe that's triggering this. It's hard to tell. But one thing's
maybe the fact that you just flip-flopped because Katie decided to do an interview with you. Maybe that could be it. I mean, you were riding her hard, that claiming that she did all this shit, but as soon as you thought there was an opportunity for an interview, you backed off that. That's another historical thing.
For sure. You think the community can't see?
Allegedly, again, you will have to take, there's so much shit out there with all of this stuff. There are screenshots that claim that Katie has paid him. However, I will say again, I think a lot of that gets misconstrued with super chats from Katie, that when he does do defending of her that she sends him, I don't know necessarily if that's payroll. Again, there's other people that say there's more that exists. There's more comments and communication that have said stuff like that. I haven't gotten that far as confirming. I can confirm that she sent him super chats. In my opinion, that doesn't prove that he's on her payroll at this point. Again, that's honest opinion based on the facts that I've seen.
Can't listen to me, can't actually watch my videos, hear what I'm saying, watch your videos and hear what you're saying and make up their own mind. Do you think they really will let you steer them like this? Is that what you're counting on? I don't understand, dude. Like, are you this scared of criticism, or is it because I'm criticizing you? Like, let's just say another YouTuber had the balls to stand up and criticize you, because they should be by now. This is
another YouTuber having the balls to stand up and criticize you. That's what this is. No different than what you said to him. The point's being missed.
Be other YouTubers out there in the community that I used to be a part of, because I'm not going to be around any of you guys anymore after this.
This is his typical exit. This is what's been amping up for the last couple of weeks. They knew this was coming. I've been out front with everything. There has been a shift in pattern of behavior ever since we had a very open and honest conversation with my subs about how they were feeling, because again, I was being contacted time and time again. People were feeling some sort of way about Uni monetizing my content. I wasn't doing it. I didn't even understand the concept of what was happening or how it was making people feel or what it was making me look like. It made me totally look like I was associated with all of them and lumped me in because I never clarified or would go back because I never watched all of his stuff. There's absolutely not humanly possible enough time to watch all these people. Again, nothing against him. It's just not the content for me. I have a hard time. I did go over and support him. I did have a wrench on his channel, all of the things. This is not personal. This is called, we all have to sit back. Do you know how many fucking times throughout this that I've been wrong and I've had to admit it and have egg on my face? But do you know how many times that I've been criticized and held to a higher standard that they don't even hold themselves to? Every time I turn around, if I say something that somebody doesn't like, they have something to say. That's the internet. That's what it's going to be. But the attacks on me have been nonstop personal. They've been at my family. They didn't just dox me. They doxed Kyle, his business. They were threatening my nieces. None of that has happened to Uni because he was covering the story. Molly talked some shit on him. He threatened that he was going to sue her because she defamed him. It is what it is. JLR sends him a letter because he had been poking at JLR and BHB. I get it. We all call them out. But when you walk into those situations, you also can't cry wolf because you walk up and knock on the fucking door. You better expect that door to be opened. And unfortunately, it discredits the rest of us that don't move like that. Calling him out on his behavior is one thing, but you knew what you were doing by poking those certain holes. And then to claim that I was doxxed by Betty is a complete misrepresentation of the truth. And I've put that out here and respectfully asked for you to stop doing it. And you doubled it and tripled down. It is not a dox. A legal definition of a dox does not fit what you claim it does. And I'm going off of legal definitions, not YouTube adaptions. I'm also interpreting terms of service because I've read that motherfucker like the back of my hand, like you claim to do. Terms of service states directly what terms of service protects and what it doesn't. There's no misrepresentation of terms of service. It's not a different situation for anything. If you are protected because of your vet status, then everybody in the comment section that has a disability, a different gender, different race, has the same protections. You are not alone or free of criticism because of your vet status. This has nothing to do with that. Again, I will continue to apologize to Navy for him being offended by my words and the conversation that I had. I probably should have called Navy beforehand. I thought about doing that, but I do everything out front because every time any of this bullshit in the inbox happens, there's always a bunch of drama that I get blindsided with that I didn't even know was going on. A lot of other people's movements, such as Uni's, affect even Navy. My movements affect the Tessas. Their movements affect mine. Unfortunately, there's this whole thing of people assume just because you agree with something or have a wrench on a channel that you're one and the same. And that is something very major within this KGA community, the anti-community. That is how they shut down all these narratives and they lump it in. I've never been for Katie. I've never been for Molly. I'm not for any of these people. This has never been a personal mission. This is about the truth and the facts. And I have a right to be offended because the content that I've busted my ass on. Content I did. Nobody laid these videos. Nobody put the time and effort into the voiceovers, putting them up, telling the story. Some people have helped me immensely with emotional support, gathering evidence, going through it. Oh my God, the Tessas have been through hell and back with me. But when it comes to actually laying the content, I do it. That's why I can regurgitate it time and time again and the story doesn't change. Again, Uni moves different. His mods do that for him, but that's where you're seeing inconsistencies of his stories with the actual facts. The facts don't change. You don't have to go back and say that you've seen the evidence of something. And then a couple days later, when somebody calls you out on backtracking the story, you have this horrible of a reaction to it. You still have these reactions when you get called out. Patterns of behavior.
When no one can even stand up and criticize this dude when he's gone straight off the fucking rails, okay? Seriously. I think it was an act. The only thing I can say, Steve, I think it was all a big fucking act. I think you put on a big act when you asked me to.
And you guys, this is far from me being selfish about my content or anything like that. I don't give myself enough credit for the shit I've done. Looking back yesterday was so emotional for me. It was fucking crazy to see how many people were playing right in our faces in the comment section, doing shit. I honestly wish I probably wouldn't have, because the amount of bullshit that has been going on has been insane. And people that claim that they're on our side, a lot of them, it's 2023. Well, most of us are in our 40s. Is it this hard to have integrity and morals and fucking honesty? We say we stand for the victim, but you're re-victimizing the same people that they victimized because you're not telling them the truth. Misinformation is misinformation no matter who it comes from. If you stand for the victims, there's no gray area.
To be unbiased. I think you were counting on me to not be unbiased. I think you wanted me to be biased. I think you wanted me to take your side against Katie But ironically, in this story, as it all unfolded,
It's super hard to see.
Katie deserved to be criticized. You didn't really in the beginning. I could have. I was stopping myself because
So you were friends with him, but you had all these other feelings. But you were passing off to your audience that he was being truthful and his evidence was factual and all this stuff. But as soon as he makes a tweet that you don't agree with, this is your reaction to criticism. Again, I don't care for Steve. I don't even give a shit who was doing what, to be honest. That's not my care. Don't care.
as much as I wanted to say that you were going overboard, and as much as I wanted to say that you were taking this way too far, and it's even going into harassment, and I never like to say that online.
You say that nonstop, but it's changed from harassment to now vet bashing, unfortunately. And Uni, please understand, that's not it.
And as much as I want to say that to you on the air in front of everybody, I've stopped myself solely because you did go through losing your channel. You did go through some messed up stuff. And I said to myself, as much as I would.
This was him being the nice guy, I guess, giving everybody a chance. I don't know where he gets this inflated ego.
Do this. Maybe it's okay if he does. We'll let the community make up their mind, whatever. But I'm going to have to check you on it because you're just out there blasting Twitter after promising Nick and promising Reds and promising the.
All he said was, seems Unirock decided to go this route. His narrative is just a convoluted mess, and it has made it far more difficult for us to actually explain the facts to people. Fuck you for making me agree with Steve McRae. That's all I got to say about that.
The people who pulled you in to that discussion that you had today and promised them you'd stay off Facebook and Twitter for a couple days so that this shit would stop. It's like you're not even listening to the people that have been close to you for a really long time. I know me and you have only been knowing each other for 7, 8, 9. I don't know. Whenever that when I did my non sequitur video and interviewed you, that's as long as we've been talking, but we've been pretty cool with each other. We've spent a lot of time streaming, hanging out, and doing content. I don't get this, dude. So can you go live on your channel? I'm calling you out right now.
I'm calling you out right now. That's what this is. You don't have to respond. But if you take anything away from this, as a mom, as somebody you claim to once respect, which I did, it's not like that, I'm sure. I'm just another content creator out here. I guess I don't even like saying that. I'm just another person that had some content for you to use and make some content over. But if you take one thing away from this, please reevaluate how you move, because you're affecting the real life of other people in your mission for content on the internet. Your need for content shouldn't come at the risk of other people's safety, including children. You want us to be so concerned about your family, your safety. You should owe every one of us, especially those that you have fucking milked the content of for 10 months and monetized the fuck out of it when I've never asked for a goddamn thing. And you do how many times in your live streams? And we call out dry begging and we call out grifting. And here you're doing the same things. You took a post of mine for simple example. I showed this yesterday because this is just the irony of the situation that they are continuing to miss. They miss the point time and time again. And you can say it until you're blue in the face and they still just don't do it. They still don't get it. And it's ironic. It's just ironic, to say the least. Let me give you an example. And again, the only reason I'm pissed about that isn't about the money. I could care two shits less. These people are amazing to me. They do so much more for me, and I owe them a bunch of buttons and have to go back and figure out what I missed too. But this is not about money. This should have never been about money or using other people's content. If you're going to monetize other people's content, at least leave it factual. Stop fucking with it. Don't inflate it. Keep it the truth. So this was from December that he posted on his community post. Obviously, I was triggered by it. So it's just his post. All it is his PayPal links. And it says, going live tonight, was ill last night. After I get back from town, I'll start up. And all it is just a screenshot of one of my posts. That's it. And I don't care about it. Let's be clear. It's petty. That's petty bullshit. But if you don't have the respect for me to even change my content, give me credit for my content, not demean me, disrespect me, not can hear my safety concerns when you're monetizing my CPS and my dox shit. If you can't listen to me, don't fucking dare use my shit. If you don't have enough respect for me to think about me as a human being, that I'm just content for your page, don't use my shit. We live on an island. Okay, let's finish listening to this. And I know he's going to say, I'm a content creator. I can use whatever I want. Yeah, you sure as hell can. But I sure as hell can continue to call your ass out. And I sure as hell will. And trust me, this isn't a road you want to go down at uni. You have made way too many claims and way too many misinformed people. There's a reason why you are so stuck on these terms. That's not my fault. But we don't change narratives over here because somebody's uncomfortable. Hold on, let me share that again.
Now, go live on your channel. Tell me what route I've gone down. Tell me what my narrative is, how it is convoluted, and how it's a mess.
I'll tell you right now. Your hatred for Steve and Katie has misguided your train of thought. You have taken no accountability for the fuck shit that you've ever done. That's why you're not growing as a creator, Uni. Because this cycle that you're in with the extreme antis has you in a spin cycle and you can't even see your way out of it. There is no reason right now, 8 years later, that you should still be doing content that involves Steve and Katie and Elle. Put that shit to bed so you can move on. You have great potential. I think you're a wonderful human being with wonderful potential inside you. Stop being a dipshit with your head stuck up your ass and actually take some criticism and listen to it. I've had to do the same. I've had to have some real come into Jesus moments with some people that I really respect. Some I don't. It's about taking accountability and growth and understanding that there is an issue here. Not this many people would be calling you out if there wasn't an issue here, Uni.
Oh, it has made it far more difficult for you to actually explain anything. The sheer fact that I'm representing logic, you know that the majority of the community that's watched this for a long time agrees with me,
No.
right? Why don't you go live and explain that? Explain how.
That's why he tries to control a community. These people agree with me. These people think what I think. That's not the truth. People are entitled to believe what they need to believe based off the evidence. And most of the people that watch us, thankfully over here, they go do their own research. They listen to the facts and they try to weed through speculation, opinion, and facts. My streams are pretty boring because we throw through a lot of fucking screen recordings and a lot of screenshots. That's called facts and proof. There was a reason why I was very careful about terms that I used throughout this story. Unfortunately, I even had it wrong in the get-go, but I didn't get it right because of a side and because of going against the extremes. I started getting it right because I started doing my research and falling in the facts, not because it was clickbaity and going to get numbers on YouTube.
How you haven't placed views over facts because
you know why? Because Marvan's story matters to me. Marvan is a Marine veteran who was discharged for a medical injury, who is in a coma for attempting to take his life. Something that you should be extremely sensitive and caring about. But even when you thought you had a chance to talk to his wife, you were more concerned about content than her safety and her kids or her husband. Think about that for a minute.
I think the reason you blew up begging me to talk to you before my criticism stream and flipping out in my live chat that day that we had first had the Ashley siren thing happen and bugging about coming on the show and where you baited me to come on my show, last Thursday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I think all of that was because of views. I think it was all views. I think it was all viewer number. I think it's all jealousy personally. It's the only thing that makes sense in this. But the worst thing I've heard is when I sit down and talk to people that have been in the community for a very long time and they say, you got to get through to Uni, or you got to get through to Steve, Uni. You got to get through to Steve.
Somebody needs to get through to Uni. If you really cared about Uni, we say this about Molly all the time, you would actually sit him down and understand and hear what the rest of us are trying to say. Granted, maybe I'm the only one saying it right at this moment with this way, but I'm not the only one. You can tell there's tension in the community. He's doing clickbait things. Queen Bee last night was blindsided by what happened to her. I watched it and I didn't even know what to say. Plus, she had other stuff going on. She's got a whole nother side of this community going at her. Holy shit. Like, the overlap here is crazy. And the extremes from Uni's past, Steve, EKC, they're all affecting all of us today. Heels. They affect Queen Bee, Heels, Burnt Toast, Rabbit. I'm not speaking for these people. I'm just saying that this type of stuff, because they assume if we are seen in unis or agreeing with something he says, that we're all apart. That's where these lists comes from. That's where people are lumped in together. It's not fair to the rest of us that are out here just trying to stick to the facts and get a story told, because victims do matter to us. So do milking locales on the internet, though. I mean, that kind of is fun. I will say that when Burnt Toast does that, I'm like, yeah, that shit is pretty fun, to be honest. And you just happen to probably become mine.
Fucking going off the rails. He's going to lose his channel. They're going to consider it not criticism, harassment of Katie. With this new policy, they're going to rip his channel to the ground. He's going to lose everything, all because he wanted to go at Katie. For whatever reason, you want to go at Katie this bad. You never just throw logic out the window to go straight head first at somebody like this, dude. And I shouldn't have to call you out live. My fucking God, bro.
I shouldn't have to call you out live either. But this is when your inflated ego gets the best of you and you think that you have to have people go through your mods to get to you. I'm not interested in the conversation that should be had between me and you. I'm an adult. You're an adult. If you have the audacity to use our content, then you should have the respect for us to at least have a direct connect, not that we have to be passed off to your mods. I would never do that. My mods they're never asked to do shit. They don't know when I go live. Never. Nothing like that. And again, we move differently. Totally fine. But that is some disrespectful ass clown shit.
When I get this shit blowing up my Discord server where I'm pulling my screenshots from, and you're literally doing it while I'm live, you just can't stand the fact of what I'm saying, dude. And the worst part is, at one time, I would have said, not Steve McRae, dude. Steve's cool. He's logical.
At one time, I would have said, not uni. In fact, I did say, not uni. You had my blind trust. You didn't earn that shit. I gave it to you willingly. You lost that on your own. Nobody else you can blame for that but you. This isn't me going to harass you, stalk you, dox you, anything like that. I keep my shit on the internet. But just like you like to give everybody else warnings, I think it's time that you have a coming to Jesus and might get honest with your audience, because you've pissed off a lot of people by doing some shady shit. And if you can't see how shady it is, then I guess you're probably going to move communities and continue the poor victimhood.
He's slow about things. He's not just going to do something because he's mad at Katie. He'd never believe something because he's mad at Katie. And he would never try to convince the community of something just because he...
And you would never believe Katie because there was some money involved, would you? Huh? Asking for a friend. You would never come in to help distract because she did fuck up and make a lot of errors. Thankfully, she's one of the only ones that admitted it. Isn't that fucking crazy? They say Katie is like the end all be all, worst of all worst. But she's the only one out of any of these people that I've ever seen take accountability or backtrack anything. I know she's got problematic behavior, but I got to give her props for where props are due. And she had the balls to come up here and actually right some wrongs and make posts to correct some things. That's a lot more than most of these people that have had problems for 8 years.
Wanted a vendetta to be put forth. He wanted to get a social justice mob behind him. But Steve, it's exactly what you're doing. I'm out.
Joey's not. Just wait. He comes back a couple times. We got to finish this because he rage quits. I've been practicing this shit too. I'm practicing the rage quit. Uni's got it down here though. Hold on. We got to skip through the music.
So let's see it, Stevie.
He's not
Let's
done
see
yet.
it, Steve. Let's see what route have I gone down? What? Being unbiased, looking at all sides, wanting to confirm everything. What route is it? Let's see this live stream tonight or tomorrow. What route is it? What narrative am I pushing? How is it convoluted? Be specific. Let's get non sequitur show type specific on this. How have I made anything difficult for you to explain?
Because you overinflate the facts and the truth, depending on what side you're on or what fits your narrative. You don't go based off the facts. You go based on what fits the content and the most views at the time. That's the problem. And that problem not only was problematic back then, as we just witnessed, but it is still today.
Facts to people. How about you send me right now the evidence of Leslie's channel being struck down, please? I need it now. Everybody in the damn... Don't give it to me. Fine. I know you hate me now. You're screwing it all up.
Listen to this. I need it now. Bitch, nobody works for you. This is the shit that pisses me off. Nobody fucking works for you. You do this shit today too. Your mods bust their ass for you, and you demean them. They do so much for you.
Give it to the community now. The
Granted, it's probably a whole set of different ones because he shuffles through them a lot.
evidence that Leslie's channel was down so that we know that for sure. And this secret thing going on in the background to confirm these screenshots, why don't you just go ahead and put that out now instead of waiting? Or just get rid of those two facts. Just throw them out. One of the two. Because you can't just sit here and try to force it out. It should have never been released in the first place, in my opinion.
Then why did you... Oh my God, I can't. Why did you give it out? Oh, Uni! So freaking smack you.
And imagine if either of those two things never, ever get proven. Imagine how that's going to weigh on you. I'm not doing you any more favors. I'm done. Okay?
I'm not doing you any more favors. I'm done. Touche? Touche.
Come at me. I'm going to come right back. From now,
Come at me, lie on me, misrepresent my content and my own words. And I guess I'm coming at you. Not really coming at you. I'm correcting the misinformation.
on. You get to dictate how it goes. Let's do this dance. Let's waltz. It's on you, big guy.
Hold on. There's still more. Hold on. You can hear. Oh, that's stupid music. Hold on. Was that it? Okay, that was it. Never mind. That was the last segment. Okay. Anyways, after Julie, no, you absolutely are misconstrued too, and obviously haven't sat back and listened either. Again, y'all group together and lump together. I get what goes on here. I know the tactics. I've watched you guys deploy on this side of things when you're pro something and he's on one side. I'm cool with whatever you guys want to do. This has nothing to do with anything about needing content because Molly's gone. Obviously, I hold my own without just fine. That is not the problem whatsoever. I'm addressing issues that are going on because of Uni's behavior and lack of accountability. He continues to put people's safety at risk for content. He continues to take a lack of accountability. He continues to misrepresent the facts of why him and the antis have such a huge history. It's years of it. This has been a years of shit that affects these victims and their stories. We don't need to deal with their bullshit. Steve and EKC should have never been involved in this, except for Katie's involved and Uni's involved and Elle's involved. That's it. They go on based on what Katie touches. They're not out here to do something because it means something to them. They're doing it because Katie touched it. Got to go against it. This ain't about Uni. This is about criticizing the problems that have been happening. Again, you're entitled to feel how you feel, but so am I. And I'm also entitled to give you the based on the facts. Now, Navy made a video. And again, this isn't a back and forth with Navy. Navy was upset by what I said. I respect him, and it will be that. I've already said it is fine. But I'm not going to water down my feelings because the term vet bashing got discussed openly. You won't control me with those narratives. This isn't vet bashing. This has nothing to do with his vet status. Navy is allowed to feel how Navy feels. I respect Navy and will allow Navy that space. This ain't a thing with me and Navy. This has nothing to do with vet bashing. That conversation had nothing to do with vet bashing Uni. It was the idea of terms are overused and misused. You can't claim you are a protected status while demeaning everybody else in that same protected status. It's a straight across the board. Opinions aren't facts, exactly. Anyways, I think we're done. I think you guys all get where I'm going. Yeah, and nobody asked me to talk on this. This is how I feel. I feel this way. This is because of the facts that have been happening. I have been silent for so long because there were so many other people that by me being vocal were going to be affected. So many people. So I have for months pushed away my feelings. Oh, it's about the facts. He can walk all over you. Don't feel bad about it, Becky. Fuck them. Your feelings don't matter. But why would you do this, and this? Oh, poor Uni type of shit. But then I'm held to a different standard when I wasn't the one even claiming that was it. The fuck out of here with that shit. You want to tell me what to do or fucking how I should run my show when we talk about the facts? These are the fucking facts. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it to be comfortable, it's not. It's never comfortable when we have to take accountability for our actions. It's not. This doesn't have to be personal. It's not. I love the term lowcow. I figured out how to use it, and you're acting like one, so I'm going to make you one. You want to do that to other people. This is what you're doing the same thing. You just mollied every one of us. You misrepresented the facts. You emotionally manipulated them. You continually dry bag all the things. You are a lowcow. You meet the absolute Urban Dictionary definition. That's how much proof I've got on that. Urban Dictionary. Oh, shit. It seems very personal. It's not. That's the thing, Donna, is every time you put any type of anything behind it, this is called passion. It's not personal. These are strangers on the internet. How can it be personal? Navy, you're going to have more reaction out of me for Navy. I love Navy. Navy is an incredible human being from my perspective. I got nothing but love for that man. He has always been respectful to me. Navy has always been great to me. And I feel bad that he's lumped into this. I absolutely genuinely feel horrible. And I'm really heartbroken that he took the vet bashing conversation personally. I listen to Navy. I respect Navy. I'm not going to go in there and fight with Navy because what I have to say is directed at Uni, not Navy. And it's very direct. I don't fuck around. Exactly. And Navy has the option of he has to sit where he's at. Navy has to sit in his spot and figure out what he wants to do. That's not up to me. I'm not going to go chase after him. He's got a girlfriend, y'all. Like, it's not like that either. Don't make it into this weird shit. I respect Navy as a human being, and the way he's treated me has always been very wonderful. There's never been any weird shit there. Like, he is just a respectful, genuine human being. But I'm not about to sacrifice my integrity for somebody else's fucking bullshit or need for content. You ain't going to play me like that. I might be dumb blonde, but I am not dumb. And there is only so much that I will take from somebody before I push back. And this is me standing up for myself and having self-respect. And I encourage more of you to stop putting up with the fuck shit and respect yourself enough to say enough. We don't have to do this. If we're going to stand against victimizing the victims, then we need to stand across the board. And when one of us starts to falter and you get called out, if you don't change that accountability, that behavior, you can expect that this community is going to probably, well, the island over here, whatever it is, whatever you guys want to call it, is going to call you out because they expect it out of me. So why am I not going to expect it out of you? I'm just not going to answer for you anymore. He's a dumb blonde. Will you please tell him I'm really sorry, Green Frog, if he's listening. If he wants to call me, I will give him my phone number. We can talk, all three of us or whatever. But I genuinely feel bad that Navy was hurt by that because this has nothing to do with Navy. But I am going to continue to come back. This has nothing to do with Elle. I can't stand Elle. Let's be truthful here. I can't stand Steve. I can't stand any of those people. But Uni, unfortunately, has a hand in this too. And he needs to take accountability and drop the games. He's a blonde with blue eyes. Yes, Donna, absolutely. And thankfully, he's got some really good ones that do stuff. But this is when you don't put the effort into watching your content before you're live streaming it and relying on those people because they have lives too. They have, it's a lot to manage out here. It's absolutely a lot. Yesterday, going back through that was absolutely mind blowing to look at the stuff we've looked at. you get so stuck in the moment of things, you don't even realize all the things that are going on. It's just a lot. Anyways, Jane Snow, everybody uses everybody's content. It has nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, I don't give two shits about uni monetizing my content. Make your fucking coin, dude. Don't inflate it. You don't have to do that. You do not have to do that shit. Make your fucking coin. Don't spread misinformation and be a part of the problem. Monetize that fucking shit if you're going to be truthful and honest. And that's what I thought he was doing. So coming back to see all the clickbait, all the lies, all the misinformation, all the everything that's been happening, and then to be fed, I have talked to people in private about him and given chance after chance and thinking, oh my God, he just fucked up on this one, or oh my God, he fucked up on that, or oh my God. But it becomes a pattern of behavior that you can't overlook anymore. And this is me saying, I'm not overlooking it anymore. We are goddamn adults and we can do better and expect better out of each other. Just like the conversation on Queen Bees, there should be a fucking hard line of no racism. I'm sorry if you can roll that N-word out of your mouth like that. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing for me. I'm white, so I'm not going to have an opinion, but why the fuck are we all white giving opinions on this anyways? Why aren't we pulling somebody with experience or that should be speaking on this from a standpoint and telling us how they really feel about it either too? Don't get me started today. Man, I'm on a mission. Damn, I'm on a mission today. Yeah, exactly, Mochas. That shit comes back on all of us, and he takes no accountability for it. And it's not just me. Please don't think that I'm trying to make myself into a victim, because he did shit to heels, and that didn't have to happen. Dude, don't take this to Kick either. I ain't watching it if you take it to Kick. I don't have a fucking Kick account. Do it on YouTube. Say it with your whole chest. If you're gonna respond to me, do it like a man. If you need my man to respond to you, I'll write him a script so you man can man to it. I mean, I'm used to fighting with men, I think. No, not really. I fucking got rid of that guy. I divorced that guy. Jesse, if you would like to, you can. I don't dangle any of that. Like, you please hit the like and the thumbs up button over here and send me super. I don't do any of that shit. If you like the content that you're seeing, you can hit the thumbs up. We're all adults. I'm not gonna con you into doing anything over here. Yeah, Brianna, I just I won't watch it anyways. I don't watch shit about me. I did watch Navies because I respect Navy. Anyways, hey, little Dev, does anybody have questions before I leave? Hey, Nanya, I just saw you. Well, I saw you earlier. Hold on. Holy shit. Why did that just flash like that? Oh, shit. Am I still here? Why did it just flash like that? Okay, hold on. My comment section just shifted. That's the shit that trips me out. I'm always like, why does it do that? Because Nanya commented it like 2 minutes ago, and then I saw it go by, and then it flipped back to her comment again, and I was like, wait, no, that's the same one. Yep, here's the same comments again. Holy shit, why does that do that? StreamYard's a trip at times. I just have to say, it like literally has PMS, and it says, nope. All right, I owe you guys a couple songs. Okay, let me see if there's any questions that I need to answer. It does. It is what it is. It absolutely does. It really does. And this is not personal directed at anybody besides uni. Like, I've had a lot on my chest, and the Penelope shit really bothers me, y'all. Like, that, looking back at that was hard to see the continual, like, I'm glad I paid attention because there just was something that just didn't make sense. But that opened up Pandora's box for me too, because I didn't realize how many people were trying to sabotage me and set me up all along until looking at that. And that really fucking hurts, because I didn't do anything to these people besides try to get the facts out there. So that was hard. But it does feel good. It does feel refreshing. And I feel like I can move on, and like I can do some content. Now I can lay out some more stuff, because unfortunately there's more stuff uni has not been honest about. And if we want to go down that route, I mean, we can do that. He has the opportunity of being honest and understanding that this is criticism. He can take it as it wishes. If he, just like anybody else, we all have a chance and a choice to make. You can do better, be better, and people are going to hold you to that and give you that chance. But actions speak louder than words. The Jane Snow, I don't know what you're getting dogpiled on. Oh my God, the MGL stuff is crazy. I will say though, I am really disappointed in Navy of how he didn't control his chat and let T and other people get attacked. Like there was no need for that. But that's a thing over there. Like that I don't want that happening over here. And I appreciate those of you. I'll attack the fucking dumbasses myself. I'll verbally tell you what I think about you. You will only push me so far. Like the holy spackle, you will only try to fucking play semantics with me for so long. Nope, not happen. T was not attacked. Are you fucking kidding me? T has been okay. Anyways, let's just continue on because I got all the screenshots of the chat too. So Green Fog, it still should have been shut down. It would have been expected of me to shut it down, and I would have been held responsible for that, right? That would have been an assumption that you guys would have had on me. If I would have let the same type of shit happen here, it would have been a problem. T supports all of those guys. Anyways, that's not here nor there. All my words are going to get totally twisted after this. 100%. T, they have been all along. They will 100%. Okay, I owe you songs. Everything I say, I can say it with my whole chest and have been all along. And everything gets twisted. Go announce your winner. Yeah, wrong is wrong. It's just not okay, y'all. This can't be like this. Okay. I told you what I felt out front. Absolutely, Ellen. I understand that and I feel terrible about that, but I cannot continue to take this shit on a personal level because at the end of the day, this is my channel and it affects all of you guys just the same. But I feel like I have all this weight and I've carried it for so long without saying anything. And I've been blindsided time and time again out here by shit that I didn't even know was happening. And this is another one of those things. I held it in because it was fitting everybody else and made everybody else feel comfortable. And I'm not saying this to you. I appreciate you saying that because I take that very seriously. I held it back and couldn't anymore because it was just becoming time after time after time. And who am I if I'm not going to call it out? I felt horrible though, because I knew it was going to create a divide for all of you. You guys were going to get kicked out of Discord. Again, this is why I don't get on a personal level with 99% of the people, because it becomes such a cutthroat of pick sides, do all this stuff. And it's absolutely disgusting. And I really am sorry that you feel that way. I feel horrible that you guys are stuck in the middle of this. This shouldn't be this. You should be able to come here, enjoy my content, and go wherever you feel like and take in whatever you need to. We are goddamn grown adults. Nobody should ever be making you feel like you're choosing. The only reason why I removed Navy's wrench was because of Uni's bullshit. And I knew that I wasn't putting Navy in that spot. I wasn't going to do it. And that fucking sucked. I had no intent to do it. I adore Navy. Again, I'm sorry that I offended him, but that is what it is. I know, Elle. I appreciate you too. I'm just really sorry that you're in this place. I feel bad for all of you. Okay, anyways, I'm off. Gosh. Thank you guys so much. 6 up, kitten claws. Thank you. Okay. That's totally fine. You mods, you guys have your wrenches. I ain't doing nothing. I trust you guys. You don't have to explain shit to me. That's great, Donna. I hope that he doesn't. Absolutely. Yep. The good Nania, that is absolutely true. Yes, Safari, please remind people that. I appreciate that. Yes, Brianna, Patty, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Joneson, for hanging out. Thank you guys all. Okay, I owe you a couple songs. I got to get out of here, though. Kyle took on the kids for 2 more hours, so I could do this. Actually, I'm just going to play you guys out with a closing time song. Thank you again for all being here. I will be live again tomorrow at my normal time during the day. Actually, we're probably going to move on to something fun. We'll see what the response is. I have a few more things that I need to lay out in this because there is actually problematic behavior here that concerns me with him. Again, he's got an option, what he chooses to do, where he chooses to go with this. I mean, it will be what it is. We will buckle up and whatever it is. So have a good night, y'all. I'm going to shut this off.
How do I say goodbye? Glad you came. Closing time.
Hit the road, Jack.
You don't have to go home, but make the best of this test and don't ask why. But you can't stay here.
Hit the road, Jack.
Green Frog, I agree with Revival. Thank you for being here. Navy, thank you for being here. I know you're hearing some of this through her. So again, I'm sorry and sending you huge hugs. I'm sorry you're in a bad spot. Have a good night, y'all.